We're live. I'm Tom from Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm. This is my wife, Noelia.
Noelia.
Noe, just so you know, we're talking to Omar. Hey, Omar, how you doing, Bubba?
Hi, Omar.
And Julie, I saw you were out there waiting to get in when I was trying to figure out how to set this thing up. This is about as good as the technology you're going to get out of us today, which is the webcam built into our laptop. And this is about as good as the lighting is going to get too. Let me mess with that light. No, you tell me if it's better or worse.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Better or worse?
Worse.
Okay.
I like it that way. Yeah. Keep it like that. It's better. Way better.
Yeah. Nothing like having a super bright light shining on you in July in the middle of summer in South Florida. All right. It's mango season. And what were we doing earlier?
Eating mangoes.
Yeah, and I said, you know what? If we're just sitting around eating mangoes, why don't we do another one of these live streams? I think a year ago, I accidentally hit the button or something. I was trying to figure it out, and I saw people were asking me questions. So I thought we'd share a little bit about what we do between the two of us here, at least what we're willing to show on YouTube. So today, we're having mangoes for lunch. And if you've never had mangoes, this is what a mango looks like. This is an avocado. This is what you normally see me growing. This is a Simmons avocado. They're just coming into season now. Yes, it looks very different from avocados you're used to seeing in the supermarket, which are the Hass variety. The Simmons, these will continue to grow for the next month. I'll be picking them. They'll be 3 pounds, some of them, off the Simmons tree. Delicious variety avocado. But today we're going to talk about mangoes, which is, I call them nature's Skittles. Picking a batch of mangoes is like opening a bag of Skittles. They're so colorful and beautiful and sweet. They're a tropical,
Delicious.
Tropical fruit that only grows in subtropical climates, like here in South Florida and like in your country where you come from.
Yeah, we eat a lot of mangoes. I used to eat mangoes when I was a little girl. My grandma owned this farm, and it was full of trees of beautiful and delicious mangoes. And when I was a little girl, I used to climb the trees and eat the mangoes like if I was like a little monkey.
Oh, look, we got Omar. Hola, ¿cómo están? He's asking us. That means how are we in Spanish?
Hola, ¿cómo
Dile
estás?
cómo estamos.
¿Cómo estás? Estamos muy bien. Estamos aquí comiendo mangos.
Why don't you have your first mango?
So, what is this?
I don't know the variety. Oh, that was, I think, a Kent. I think that's a Kent mango.
It is.
Okay. Is it good?
It's so good.
So this is what we've been doing every day for 3 weeks now.
For 3 weeks. Tell them how you smell.
I smell like a mango. Like my sweat, you can smell mango on me.
The other day, I went to kiss him in the cheek, and then I'm like, hon, you smell like fruit. And he's like, no, I just took a shower. And I'm like, no, you smell like mango everywhere. You're sweating like mango.
Yeah. But we've been eating these things. I came home from my son's football practice. You had cooked dinner. She made a beautiful pasta. No, what was it? A rice.
It was a rice
with bacon and beans and sausage. Almost like a
nice
Cajun, like a jambalaya type dish.
Yeah.
And I just saw a mango and felt that I knew it was ready to go. So I sliced it open and cut it into cubes, cut it into little spears like we have here. The first one, we got 6 little spears. And we shared that mango. And then we had another and another. And another, and we ate so many mangoes, we didn't even eat dinner that night. We were stuffed on mango, right?
We eat, like,
at least 6 or 7. And I mean, not all mangoes are tiny like this guy. I mean, some of them are giants. We have a tree out back that grows them up to 4 or 5 pounds, a Ford variety mango.
Look at how beautiful the red is in this one. Let me see.
So I thought we'd do this little live stream and just chill with y'all while we have our lunch here, have our mangoes. Now, when I eat mangoes, I have to actually have a towel. And in fact, I usually do it standing over the sink. And well, let me show them why that is. Tell them something about yourself, honey.
Well, like I said, when I was a little girl, I grew up in a big family, and I probably had like 15, 13 close cousins. And I remember all my cousins. One of our favorite things was eating mangoes. Mango season was like one of the best seasons in the year, and we all got together and we climbed the trees, and our moms and dads couldn't find us because we were on the trees eating mangoes, and it was amazing, 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 amazing. Let me see. Well, this one is not that sweet, but it's still delicious. Has like a lemon taste to it. Mm. So let me try this one here. I'm gonna show you. I think this one is more. It's yeah. This one is like more sweet. Mm. Oh my god, yes. This one tastes like an apple, like a sweet apple. Mm. Mm.
Did you behave yourself, Noe?
Yeah, I was telling them about my cousins and my grandma's farm.
I want to show them how we cut these things open, but I wanted to use a real big example. And I know we're getting questions here in the chat, which we are going to get to, but I want to show you how we open a mango. So again, all shapes and sizes, right? Hold on, it's got a little bit of sap on it. I mean, look at the difference here. The colors on this, the peach colors into the red. This one comes from an organic farm, so it's going to have some spots and stuff like that on it. Now look at this one. It's S-shaped and it's green. We got these that are little, almost kidney bean shaped. You saw this one earlier, this beautiful yellow. We had these little guys
These
here.
This one are the one that I used to eat in Venezuela. This one.
They're delicious.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah. And then these ones, no, that's the same one as those. Oh, and then this here, I believe this is a Kent, but it was picked a little early, is a delicious flavor mango. But I want to show how we open a mango, but I got to go get a mango seed first. You can tell them something, Noe.
Okay. So this one here, I'm trying to find the one that has like a lemonade taste. I think it's this one
right here. Hold on.
Okay, there's one that tastes like lemon and it's sweet with lemon, and it's very unusual for a mango, but it's actually really, really good.
I think that's this one. No, it's not that one. It's this little guy here.
Ah, okay.
So hang on to that.
Okay.
But I want to show when we open a mango. So this is what the seed of the inside of a mango looks like. So it's flat, but it's also thin, right? So it sits inside the mango in this orientation. So I cut around the seed. So let me show how we do that. Actually, I want to cut.
I can do it for you.
This one. No, I can do it. That's all right. Okay. Can you just manage the camera?
Yeah.
Like put it on, like so it's on the cutting board.
Okay.
So we're going to move the camera a little bit here. So what you do is you lay the mango. Well, this one's a little mushy on the one side, but you give it, like, you make it a little unstable. All right, let me start over with the better mango. You lay the mango on its side and it will fall, right? It'll fall. It'll fall. It'll fall, okay? When it falls, it lays flat. So that way you know the orientation of the seed is this way. So if I tried to cut it this way, I'd be hitting seed. Whereas if I stand it up and go straight down, now this one ain't quite ready yet, so I'm gonna, give me that other one back on. Yeah, there we go, that one right there, yep.
Yeah, that one is perfect.
So this one, I know the seed is oriented this way, right? So I can cut a nice fat chunk. I'm still just hitting the seed a little bit. I can cut a nice fat chunk off of one side and a nice fat chunk off the other side.
So delicious.
And then I've got my seed in the middle. See, it's wide one way and narrow the other. This I peel open. And stand over the sink because it's always very juicy and messy. I stand over the sink and I eat this part. Take a bite of that, sweetie. And then I cut the remaining halves into little canoes for my wife and son. So I kind of eat them as we're making them. And then these guys eat it in a little bit more controlled and clean way. Let me reorient the camera here. Oh, you know what?
What?
I just had this fear that it was going to be like 100 messages all saying, we can't hear you, we can't hear you. So I'm assuming you guys hear us. So anyway, that's what I usually do. I usually come home, I'll cut open 4, 5, 6 mangoes. I eat them over the sink. I eat that seed part. And then I have these for her. So here's our mangoes. If you have any questions about them, I can show them or show you any of the particulars.
Mm.
And then we're just going to chow down on these and talk to y'all. Where you going, Noe? Oh, you get the plate. All right, so let me. Oh, Victor's here. He's down. Victor, you're getting internet out there in the jungle in Puerto Rico. Wow, great to hear from you on your vacation too. So we'll start at the top again. Julie, hi. Omar, how you doing, buddy? Okay, J Hadj, J Hodge. How are your avocados? Are they already flowering? Mine aren't. We're in South Florida. We're in Homestead, Florida. We're in the northern hemisphere. So for us, our avocados start to flower after Christmas, like late January into February into March, and then we start getting fruit. I'm not sure what part of the world you're from. If you're from the southern hemisphere, you'd be on a different schedule, and you'll be whenever, like right before spring is for you, say in Australia or New Zealand or whatever, you'd be getting, or South Africa. So Jay Hodge, let us know where you're at, and it might be something else. Omar, otra vez en español. Estamos bien. Victor, dialing in from Puerto Rico. Thank you so much. Oh, look at this. No, someone's watching from Zambia.
Oh, wow.
You know, I had an opportunity, that would be Sunday. Sunday, I had an opportunity to visit Ghana. My brother was working down there, but I didn't get to see the rest of the continent, but it would have really been nice. I just had a brief, like 4-day stay on the continent of Africa, but I would love to see your country. And then we got my granny's garden. How you doing? Oh, you love mangoes. Obviously we love them too. And then we got Victor on Puerto Rico. There's also mango season. That's right. Yeah, right now that's crazy. It, right? If you're in the Caribbean, that sort of thing, everybody's pigging out on mangoes. I mean, it is the best. You remember when Victor and Anna came to visit us, right?
Yeah,
not Victor and Anna from the football field, Victor and Anna from Poland, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And well, now they're down in Puerto Rico, touring around the jungles and the mountains.
Really?
And he's sending me pics. He's like, see that bunch of bananas up there? That's my lunch today, you know? And he's
so cool.
And I told him, I, of course, expect him. For those of you out there, Victor, I'm referring to is Kazub with Kazub W California here in the chat. And it's a married couple, Victor and Anna, who travel all around the United States. They're from Poland. And do a vlog on foods they've had. So I'll be looking forward, Victor, to yours on Mofongo coming soon.
Oh, Mofongo.
Yeah. Okay, Sunday. Oh, I feel like eating mangoes every day. We do. And I'm sorry that they're off season where you are, but I bet when they're on season, I bet they're really, really good. Spreading ideas. Great to see you. Great to be here. Omar, question. Do mangoes need to ripen when they are removed from the tree, or do they ripen on the tree? Mangoes will ripen on the tree. Around here, a squirrel will probably get to them even before they ripen, or some kind of critter. But yeah, mangoes will get soft. I'll check them and get soft. Unlike an avocado that I picked this 2 days ago, and it's still hard as rock. An avocado you have to pick. Mangoes are more like an apple or a tomato. You know, if you don't pick them, they'll eventually get soft and fall and rot, and you can't pick them. Let's see here. Rubio, I am messy. You're right. I am. I am messy. I have to trim my beard during mango season. Morris Family Studio, it's your first live. I think it's our second.
It's our second.
Yeah, and it was the same kind of thing. We were just sitting around and ran out of things to do and said, let's try this out. I'd like to do it more formally, you know, like with better, look at that, I got this shadow, like obviously better lighting, better acoustics, a better set, a musical guest.
Oh, I love that.
You know, and we can do. I was thinking of actually starting a live stream called Guac Talk, where we make a guacamole recipe, and I interview interesting people.
You should do that.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? I think it's a great idea.
All right. Yeah. Which, by the way, I think everyone can be interesting if you dig in the right place for the gold. I don't think you have to be a celebrity or have done something noteworthy in any way famous. I used to travel a lot for my job, and as a salesman, I always wanted to practice my questioning skills. And so I'm the chatty guy that annoys people on the plane. But some people like to talk, and the ones who didn't, I respected, and the ones who did like to talk, we would talk. And there's so many outwardly appearing, regular Joes out there, ordinary people, many of whom have done amazing things with their lives. And I want to get those stories out. So anyways, whatever. Guac talk. Let's see. Jumbo, is that spreading ideas? Is that a word for? Oh, I think you're saying the mangoes are really big. Yes, they are. From Saxonia, Germany, diplomat Kim Long. Diplomat. I used to go out to Erlangen a lot. The company I work for, Siemens, when I used to work for them, it was the division was based in Erlangen, Germany, and I used to love to spend time there. And thank you for the compliment. I know you're saying she looks good, not me. How many trees do I have, Mrs. Granny? My granny's garden. Sorry, I need a different prescription, I think, or a different magnification. My granny's garden. How many trees do you have? We've got about 300 avocado trees producing fruit, most of which are late season varieties. We do have a couple of earlies, like some Simmons and some Donnie. We've got, at this point, probably 35, 40 mango trees. We started growing the mangoes just for us, but when we have a good crop, we'll sell, because we couldn't possibly keep up with them all, we'll sell the mangoes. And then we've got various other tropical fruits, a half a dozen called sapodilla. People in California and the Philippines call them chico. Here in Miami, the Cuban Spanish word is mamoncillo? No, I forget. No. I don't know. But anyway, there's, it's known as different things. We have mamey, which is delicious. We only have about a half a dozen mamey. That's, again, just for us to eat. And then we have some rare stuff like caimito, passion fruit. We've got jobata caba. We grow pineapple, which is a lot of fun. It takes a long time, but it's a lot of fun. So, and then bananas, I probably got 60, 70 banana pieces. Oh, we have a few mulberry trees. I love my mulberry the star fruit. Yeah. I dreamt about the star fruit tree last night.
You did?
Yeah. And I can't get the laptop level, so it's going to wiggle every now and then.
I'm eating all the mangoes on you.
Well, you always do. That's nothing new. I got like 50 more pounds. Okay. Okay. And we got, hold on. Where the heck did we go?
I'm sorry to, take your attention out of this, but what is this? This is like, this one?
Yeah, that's a kit variety, Keitt. It's small for a kit. It's really good, right? That's my favorite. Kit is my favorite. Yeah. So we got to Ms. Granny's question. How many trees? Thank you for the compliment, diplomat. Oh, like I said, that's probably about 9. Omar with a question. I have heard that unlike avocados, there are some varieties of mangoes that grow true to type. What are the types varieties that I can grow true to type? Excellent question. Let me show you in a second. Did you tell them about the avocados at your grandmother's farm?
I did.
Oh.
I already did.
Oh, I don't have to go anywhere, actually.
Yeah, well, you can go. I can entertain
This
them.
variety right here, Omar, is called a Nam Duc Mai. I believe it's a Vietnam. I believe it was discovered in Vietnam, and it's the seed is polyembryonic, which means it more than one embryo, right? I guess what poly meaning many, right? When you plant a Nam Duc Mai seed, you get more than one tree from it. You get as many trees as there are embryos in the seed. You get one that's fertilized, which is a combination of the DNA of the mother and father tree. All the other ones are replicas of the mother tree, which means that if you prune away the fertilized one, and it's easy to know which one it is because that's the runt of the litter, you're left with identical copies, which means they will grow into a tree and they will produce the same exact fruit, the Nam Duc Mai fruit, as the mother tree, as the fruit you got the seed from. Again, those are called polyembryonic varieties. Another one I'm aware of that's very popular out in California is Atulfo, the Atulfo variety. And so you're right. Unlike you prefaced your question saying unlike avocados, and that's correct. Avocados, if I want a tree to give me more avocados just like this one, I need to go out and take a cutting from the tree that gave me this avocado and stick it onto another tree. And what grows will then give me these. Hey, Morris Family Studio. Doria, how you doing up there in Orlando? You're not too far away. Another German. And we got a lot of viewers from Germany.
They love us.
Yeah. Oh, okay. My granny, you're right there in Central Florida. Let us know, what do you grow? What do you got going in your garden? Namaste, Corvana. Wait a minute. You're low. Oh, you say from India. I thought you were, there's a name similar to that right up the street from us. Oh, Juju, I'm sorry. Yeah, your mango season ended in just recently ended. I mean, our prime mango season will probably go 3-4 more weeks. And then as you get into August, there's some August varieties. We even have one tree in the back that we can drag into September also and have a few stragglers. I'm beginning to see YouTube videos of varieties people are managing to keep like through the winter, and they're having them in the very early spring.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Paul from Fruitful Trees ate like his first mango of the season, or his last mango of last season. He only ate it like, I guess, like back in like April or something. I saw his vid. Hey, Panda Plays from Philadelphia. Go Birds. Spreading ideas. Oh, I'm spreading ideas. Yeah, you comment a lot. Thank you for teaching us the right way to graft avocado. I mean, you know, we were going to do grafting classes, and then COVID struck, and then we had our house fire. And so things got, the fire really disrupted us. It kind of knocked us back about 2 years, I'd say. But we are going to re-engage with the grafting class. And now that this is turning into a venue, we're probably going to do them this way too. But I'm going to bring back Jorge and Yolanda, because they're the real masters at it. I mean,
that's so good.
Yeah, like in my videos, I just want to get the concept across to someone. There's a lot of better videos on the actual mechanics of grafting, or what I do when I show, Jorge. But it's more for demonstrative purposes than a straight up education on how to do it, But that's something we want to move into. Hey, Frosty Lone Wolves here. How you doing, man? You damn near gave me a heart attack today when you said your mangoes arrived mushy. I'm thinking, did Frosty order mangoes from me and they arrived mushy? I was mortified. And then I was like, wait a minute. I know he was ordering some Altolfo mangoes somewhere else. So while I'm sad your mangoes arrived mushy, I was glad it wasn't me that sent you mushy mangoes. That said, I know your goal was to get your hands on some polyembryonic seeds like we just talked about. Frosty does a lot of growing himself, and grows a lot of stuff, actually, vegetables and fruits. And he wanted to try growing a few polyembryonic mango varieties and get the actual mango he ate. So you at least have your seeds that you were looking for. Yeah, Morris family. Marley says fresh fruit, freshly picked. He's right. Or Marley Yerby. Marley's Yerby is correct. Morris Family Studio says, yes, do guac talk. My avocado tree leaves are getting brown spots and my fruit stayed teeny tiny. Can you give any advice? I'm in Zone 9, Houston, Texas. Yeah. Spray them with copper fungicide. You can get it at Home Depot. Give it a good spray about every 30 days. It could be a fungus that's doing that. And let me know how that works. It's not going to clean the brown off the leaves that are already brown, but it'll, like, new leaves will stay fresh, and you keep spraying it. And you would do that from the time you get flowers till you pick your last piece of fruit. That'll get rid of the brown, and it'll help you have a healthier crop, and your fruit won't drop. Yeah, Cameron, it's a good amount of trees, and it doesn't keep me. What's swinging around behind me there? Oh, that's just a plant blowing around in the wind. It doesn't keep me too busy during pruning, because you have to see the machine that I bring in here to prune these trees. It's got a giant arm, and each arm has about a 36 it's like a star coming off the arm, and each leg of the star has a 36-inch saw blade, and we can orient it horizontally for pruning, right down the row, right down the other row, or you can orient it. Can you sit back just a tad? We can orient it like this horizontally. I guess that would be vertically, right? And then we would orient it horizontally with the saw blades on top, and just and it's like a scene from Jurassic Park, like a dinosaur is ripping up the forest. And then we just stack all the branches in the middle row of the grove and just grind them. So it's actually a quick process using those tools. Like they say, right tool for the right job. It's getting to be 3:20. Do I lose you soon? Or are you going to hang out a little longer?
Yeah, I'm going to hang out
Okay.
a little bit.
All right. But there's a lot of other things to keep us busy. Oh, thank you, Manesh. Oh, we got from Algeria here. Wow, people from all over the place. My granny's garden has several mango plants. You've grown from seed. That's fantastic. Are they giving fruit yet? And then Sarah's in Southern California, island desert climate. What is the best mango to grow here? Do me a favor, Sarah S. Go on Google and look up the USDA hardiness zone for your zip code. And the thing is with mangoes, though, they're all pretty much tight in the same temperature range. So it's not necessarily there's one better or worse. Although I know here in South Florida, there's some that do better closer to the coast and others that do better more inland. I don't know. I hear it's like a salt thing, but I don't know much about that. But let me know what your USDA hardiness zone is. Okay, Lil Camo Hat. Where can you find a polyembryonic seed? Well, if you can get your hands on a variety of mango that is polyembryonic, then of course the seed inside it will be a polyembryonic seed. So I don't know where you live, and I don't know, a lot of like your regular run-of-the-mill supermarket is not really going to have varieties of mangoes. And even if they do, it's unlikely they'll be labeled. Like they're just going to say mangoes, If you've got like a specialty fruit kind of place, maybe certain times a year they'd have different mangoes labeled as what they are. And you can Google each variety, like that kit, which I think was this one that my wife just ate. Yeah, they're the ones that get real dirty. This kit is delicious.
So good. It's so good.
But it's monoembryonic. So if I was looking to grow a kit, I know I'd have to graft it. So if you know somewhere that has certain varieties, just do a Google search and ask if they are polyembryonic, or maybe if there's a farmer's market, or like I say, maybe like an Asian grocery, if they don't necessarily have in stock what you're looking for, they might have access to be able to order you the fruit, and then you would just take the seed from inside of it. Got some more comments here. LL, I love your videos. I've got nothing to do with growing plants, but I like your attitude and positivity you're projecting in your videos. Sad that you're in Hungary. There's some viewers to this channel from Hungary who are actually growing avocados, but like as house plants, they're growing the trees in their house, and very good friends of ours are Hungarian. And every now and then someone messages me from Hungary, and I have my friend write a response in Hungarian, but I don't speak Hungarian. But thank you for the notice. And I try to only make videos when I'm feeling up, if I'm having a good day. There's been times I record something and I start to edit it and I'm like, oh, you're a little droopy today, man. Today ain't the day. Today ain't the day. And I'll just throw that stuff away and start over the next day, But I try to listen, right? I mean,
Yeah. It's all about the energy.
Right? Yeah, yeah. And this time of year could be tough because, you sell 1,000 pounds of fruit in a day. You move that 1,000 pounds 5 or 6 times. You're picking it off the tree. You're loading it in a truck. You're taking it from the truck to inside where you're going to pack. You pack it into the boxes. You move the boxes 2 or 3 times. You drive to the post office, move the boxes again. I mean, this and I should be drinking more. I mean, and it's also 90 plus degrees and direct sun. And so there's some times where like the next morning I'm just like dying, and I just try not to make videos on those days. And then other days I can't not make one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Sarah's back. Riverside, California, Zone 9B. So you're there. I mean, you can get freeze and frost at night, but you're close enough that you could really plant any type of mango you wanted. And if you took care of it on nights where you're expecting the temperatures to drop near or below freezing, because for avocados, it's just about or for mangoes, that is, it's like 40 degrees or less, I think, is the danger point for the flowers. And there are ways to mitigate by managing the microclimate that is your backyard, or in my case, that's my avocado grove. There's things we could do to raise the temperature a few degrees in these microclimates. It's really amazing. Like right now, I got my AC blasting, but I'm sweating because that light we have on is heating up this whole room. You know, we've created a microclimate in this room. You can do the same in your backyard. You can take don't do LEDs, but like old fashioned regular light bulb Christmas lights. Wrap them around your tree when it's little, maybe cover it on the nights it's going to get cold. That cover will keep the dew off so it doesn't freeze, and it will insulate, and the lights will heat up the temperature. So if the temperature drops, say below 40, you might have a nice toasty 43, 44 degrees in your little environment you created for the tree. Here we go. Okay, my granny, who has planted several seedling mangoes, has not gotten any varieties. I wonder if you remember my granny's garden. When you planted those, might you have planted a polyembryonic variety? Did any of your seeds actually sprout up more than one seedling? In which case, you might be getting fruit much sooner than you think. Omar, how do you fertilize your mango and avocado trees? Have you done any statistical analysis on how many fruit you get on an adult tree? Yes and no. Well, I'll go backwards. As far as the statistical analysis goes, you know, like I say, these are about 3 pounds when they're mature. And I've got other varieties that are maybe a pound when they're mature. A Hass avocado you get in the supermarket could be 4 to 6 ounces, right? So if, you know, if you think about it in like the unit of measure, it might be more appropriate to say pounds than number of fruit. But yes, we do keep track of the output, and the Monroes that I grow at the size we keep them, hang with me here, I'll probably do 400 to 500 pounds a tree. I think a Simmons is capable of that too, but my Simmons are still kind of young. They're not big at full production yet. And then we do track year from year, but it's oftentimes difficult to pin down what may have caused a good year or a bad year because there's so many variables. Your question, how do we fertilize? For small farms like myself here, the big guys who have all the equipment and can buy all the chemicals and fertilizers and stuff at like sort of economies of scale rates, a few of the big guys actually hire out their crews to us little guys. And so 3 times a year, I hire them to come out and fertilize the avocado growth. As far as the mango fertilizing goes, I go to one of those same guys and I just buy 50-pound bags of mango mix fertilizer. And I just go out when the trees are little. I like in the first 4 or 5 years, I go out every 60 days and hit them. My big, fully grown, mature producing ones, I hit them 3 times with that mango blend fertilizer.
I gotta go, hon. I have a client.
Dali, all right.
Bye, guys.
My wife is a wellness coach. She's got a TV show, Spanish TV, where they talk about health and wellness and that sort of thing. And then she's got her private clients too. So she schedules them throughout the day. So she's going to take on a client. I'm going to eat some mangoes and chat with you all here. Cameron, you're right. That machine is amazing. And yeah, you were up a ladder with a chainsaw pruning your avocados. Yeah, well, you know, if you only have a handful of trees, it's quite a job. And branches, the later the day goes, the more cutting you do, the heavier those branches go when you're hauling them into the back of the truck or however you're getting rid of them, you know. But yeah, it's great. And sometimes they leave the machine here overnight, and I so want to drive it. But I won't even ask because there's no way they'd ever let me. But man, I would love to just run that thing down the road. The hot desert of Las Vegas. Nothing grows out here, but I also love starfruit, and I want starfruit tree real bad. You know, Lil Camel Hat said that. We have one starfruit tree, and it's a huge producer, and it produces a nice, sweet starfruit. A lot of people use their starfruit as garnish because it's kind of sour. The varieties, some of the varieties that grow around here are actually very sweet, and we're lucky to have one of those varieties. And it fruits 3 times a year, and I mean like big time. Like we can't even keep up with it My dad, who lives in Pennsylvania, every year he'll send me a picture, star fruit, $5 a piece. And I'll look out back and I have 100 of them rotting on the ground, but with star fruit, it's such a delicate fruit and it's so easily damaged that it's a hard product to sell commercially. And we eat most of, or we probably the squirrels get half of them and we eat half of them. That the two vertical lines, I don't know if it's II or LL. Can you tell us a bit more about your transition from the corporate world to growing fruits? Yeah, I can tell you that. And someday I'd like to do a bigger talk on that whole topic because I think it's very relevant to people. Oh my God, let me just show you this real quick. Noe, did you eat look at all the mango my wife ate oh my God, you ate like 4 pounds you're going to fall asleep with your client. Good God. Well, I'm going to chow down on some too. But yeah, I'd love to talk a little bit about, transitioning from corporate to being a farmer. My whole career, like even before college, my sort of goal was to, I guess, like take advantage of youth and take advantage of energy and just go hard and try to get a job that makes decent money. And I graduated high school in 1989. And at that time, like everyone was saying, get a job as a programmer. They make good money. No one knew what it meant. No one knew what it was. But if you get a job as a computer programmer, there's tons of jobs and they pay really good. And I happened to be introduced to computer programming as a senior in high school, which is a cool story all in of itself. And I'm making this story long. Let me just sum it up for you. So my goal since I was a teenager was really to just like hit it hard from like age 20 to 40 and live frugally and learn how to invest. And so that by the time age 40 rolled around, I would have accumulated as much of a nest egg as possible and would feel secure. It's not that I wanted to quit or retire or anything like that. I just thought, as you get older, you start having less energy. So why not expend the energy now? Work the double shifts, volunteer to cover the holidays, pick up the jobs with all the traveling and all that kind of stuff that maybe are a little rough on the lifestyle, but help, really easy on the bank account, and I was able to do that. And much of why I realize now as an older person with some wisdom, much of what motivated me to do that is I was born with a muscular condition. You see sometimes in those grafting videos, some days my hands shake. It's just a condition I was born with, like a form of muscular dystrophy. And my grandfather had it, and he wound up in a wheelchair like when he turned 50. So in the back of my head, I always thought I too would wind up in a wheelchair by the time I was 50. So I felt like I better hit it hard now in case I'm not as able as I got older. Well, obviously that didn't happen. I'm over 50 and I've done a couple of Ironman triathlons and stuff like that. I took measures to try and keep myself strong, and I still do hit the gym a lot, So anyway, the goal was to hit it hard, build a stake, and then segue into something that is a little more me. I was good in the corporate world. I could do that stuff. I was very good at sales, in fact. I mean, you don't retire at age 44 if you're a bad salesman. And, but I'd be sitting in those rooms and I knew it wasn't me. Like I knew my boys back home in Scranton that I grew up would be like, who the F is that guy? Like laughing at me, And not that I was pretending to be something I wasn't, that's just a world I chose to enter to go in and try and make money. That's where the money was. Like the same reason Billy the Kid or whoever it was robbed banks, because that's where the money was, right? Somebody said that, Doc, some Western guy, Buffalo Bill, I don't know. But anyway, that's what I did. But knowing that like eventually I'd wind up in some sort of living conditions that'd remind you of the Dukes of Hazzard, some type of farm, country living, mountain living, maybe on the side of a lake, but a more private, isolated lake, something like that. That was always the goal in life. And then when I discovered what was down here in Homestead, that you could buy these properties that have functional farms on them, maybe honey, maybe mangoes, maybe avocados. Some people do row crops, corn, beans, strawberries, that sort of thing. I started looking into it a little bit and thought, you know what? It's country. You're out in the trees. It's green. It's about 5 degrees cooler here than it is when you drive sort of northeast up into Miami. We get bobcats, we get foxes, we get owls. We're in the boonies here. We're in the sticks, and it comes with a functional farm that if you run it good enough, it'll pay your, it'll help pay your expenses. So if you're living off a steak, you won't drain your savings as quickly. So I put together a 5-year plan, and to segue, I moved here and started working on the farm and put together a 5-year plan to segue from the corporate world to full-time farming. And at year 3 of that plan, I got very fortunate because the division of the company I worked for was bought out by a competitor. And they gave me a big sign-on bonus to join them. And then 3 weeks later, they sent me a letter with an optional retirement package, a big payout package, because I had a lot of years with the company. And I was like, can I keep the sign-on bonus? They're like, yeah, that's yours. And I was like, yeah, where do I sign? And instead of going 5 years, that package kind of was a lump sum payment that escalated to year 3, but gave me the same financial outcome as staying working for 5 years would. So at year 3, which was 2015, into my plan, I bailed out and started doing this full time. And I still keep in touch with the old corporate world, do like consulting and stuff like that. But essentially, it didn't have to be a farm. It didn't have to be an avocado farm. It didn't have to be in Florida. It would have had to been in a rural or, at least woodsy, natural kind of environment for sure, near water for bass fishing, which is something I love to do. And also be the type of something that does allow me to keep busy and keep making money, because I believe use it or lose it. If you just sit around all day, your body will start to wither, your brain will start to slow down. And so started the farm and then got into the YouTube. And when that started getting popular, that became fun. And then people wanted to buy the fruit retail, YouTube viewers, you guys. So I created the website so people could buy fruit. And it started out like a box a week. And now I can do 10 boxes an hour sometimes, if the YouTube views are up. And then people started asking for trees. And so I started adding the trees in and selling the trees. And then we had a house fire, and then you take a few steps back, and that takes you to today. And oh my God, was that an awful long? I don't like to talk that long. I'm so sorry to make you guys sit through that. But anyway, LL, that's the answer to your question. And then you correct Lil Cam. I knew you meant tree. Yeah. Juju, where are you? You just disappeared on me, buddy. Do you guys have any of the juicy mango varieties? Like, they're literally like a juice box that grows on tree, not that much flesh. Yes, they absolutely are. And you're right. You can't cut them up, right? You have to like go through the skin and suck the juice out. Yes, we do have 2 of those varieties that are like that. And my wife loves them because that's what she grew up on. Before things went real sour in Venezuela, we used to go down there quite a bit and go to visit the farm that her mother grew up on. And man, the tree would be loaded with these little teeny mangoes with very thin skin, almost like an apple. And you just, bite a little hole through like you're a squirrel and suck the pulp out. Oh man, was it good. And yeah, I don't know if there's an English name for the variety either, but there's probably multiple varieties that are like that. You're right, Ka, Hina, Keabi, Ka. Farming is hard work. Sarah, perfect, awesome. We'll work on my microclimate in the cool nights. Thank you. 40F for mangoes, especially once they've flowered. Try to keep them above 40. There's a couple of vids on my channel where I show what we do. Just running the sprinklers will actually raise the temperature in your backyard. There's a lot of things you can do. So check out some of my videos on that, Sarah. And then, okay, so my granny's garden did plant a polyembryonic variety. So could have been a Namduk Mai if you're in Central Florida, but could have been a lot of other things. And so, yeah, watch them if you happen to remember, or even now, if there's several that are good and one of them's kind of the runt. The good ones will give you the exact mango you got the seed from. The runt is going to be nature's mystery. It's going to be a combination of the mother and father plants, or the 2 trees that fertilized it. Picasso John, is fertilizer really bad for the land? Well, I guess it depends who you're talking to. I mean, there's what, 8 billion mouths to feed on this planet, right? And farmers do their best to increase yields because there's a lot of mouths to feed, a lot of hungry people, 7.5 billion. I mean, imagine the biomass per day that's consumed. I mean, my wife just ate almost that much mango and she's only this big, right? And so we have to produce a lot of food. So is fertilizer bad for the land? Well, it makes the land optimal for growing whatever it is we're trying to grow at that time, right? But then rain comes along and washes it into rivers and streams, and then the rivers and streams take the fertilizer elsewhere. And maybe when it gets to those places, it's bad for the land, you know? So I think as human beings, as all of us a member of the same species, you know, we're constantly trying to strike the right balance between becoming efficient enough to feed what will very shortly be 8 billion hungry people every single day, weighed against the damage it does to the earth, if you will, or the way I look at it, to future generations, right? If we ruin what's here that's good for humans, I don't think the earth is going anywhere. I mean, it's a giant ball of iron that's been going around now for what, 6 billion years or 4 billion years or something. I think the earth is going to be here a lot longer than us, but will it be habitable for us? I don't know. But in order for it to be habitable for us right now at the level of 7.5 billion people, we need to be very efficient. We need to maximize our yields, keep our costs as low as we can, and come up with very efficient logistics and distribution systems so people don't starve. If you only have space for one avocado tree, what variety do you recommend? Kiwi in a vacuum, purely on taste. I personally would recommend the Lula, simply because it's my favorite tasting avocado. It's actually, it's kind of unique. It's kind of different. It's not like, oh, this is an avocado and it tastes really good. It's like, wow, that's an avocado. I mean, it had almost a buttery taste. In fact, I would open them and let them go soft, and I would use them as a butter substitute. I would just leave them, leave half the skin and just go in and, butter bread with it, if you will, and butter stuff. Delicious. So the Lula. However, I can't just recommend trees in a vacuum. I would need to know your climate. Certain avocados are more cold hardy than others. And so that's a consideration. I would also want to know, when do you want your fruit? Do you want it in May and June, or would you rather get it around Halloween, Thanksgiving? Would you rather get it smack in the middle of the summer? But on taste alone, Lula. Maybe in a vacuum, maybe I'd say Lula on taste. But if in lieu of any other information, if someone just wanted to buy an avocado tree from me, I would say a Monroe, now that I've thought about it. So I take back Lula. Lula on taste. Monroes are also delicious, but Monroes are also super hardy. They're cold hardy, but they'll also grow in the heat. And man, do they produce. Now, they're not ready until Halloween, but you can keep them on the tree from about Halloween to February. So you have them over the holidays. You have them for the Super Bowl. And they're a delicious variety and a very reliable and healthy tree. So I take back Lula. I now say Monroe. Lone Wolf. No avocado or mango tree can grow where I live. I know, but you and I talked about the things you're doing so that you can grow them indoors and, try to make it happen. Someone told me about fertilizer, but I think it might have been propaganda. Well, there's a lot of course, right? I mean, there's a lot of people for it, a lot of people against it. People ask me, are your avocados GMO? And they're not. There's no GMO avocados. But people insist what they're buying in the supermarket is GMO. There's a lot of, I think, irrationality and hype out there when it comes to food and, the American diet and stuff like that. And particularly issues surrounding fertilizers, pesticides, et cetera, et cetera. And as I said earlier, I suppose you could go back to the old ways, but I don't think we'd produce enough to feed 8 billion people then. We have choices to make Pros and cons. Yeah, she was Morris found killing the mangoes and smiling. Okay, I have to either hide them or I tell my wife and son, do me a favor. For example, if I was going to talk about this, this is a kit mango. If I was going to talk about kits and I wanted to make a video out of this tomorrow, I'd have to hide this. It's not enough for me to tell them, don't eat my mango, because one of them will eat it. And so if I want to save mangoes, which usually I want to save them to make a video, truth be told, I think I mentioned this on a video or two. I'm like an Italian grandma. If I grow something, I get way more pleasure out of watching someone else eat it than myself. But so with my wife and son, I'm very happy to have them eat all the mangoes they want. So I would never tell them to not eat one because I want it. However, there's times I want to use it just to make a video, then they can have it. But yeah, they tear him up. He's a teenager, and I don't know, it's 4:00 in the afternoon. It's Saturday. He's probably just waking up now. I let him do his thing. You know, I don't really care. He's going to be fine. Let's see. Frosty grow, right? Yep. You got your apple, your plum, pear, cherries, pawpaw, and that's about it. But didn't you tell me you were also growing some herbs or some vegetables or something? Robert, hey, Tom, grafting some new mango trees. Have a 1-year-old that already reached around 5 feet. Not sure if I should graft it toward the top or chop a few feet and do it lower. What's your opinion? My opinion is to chop a few feet and do it lower. In fact, if it's already 5 feet high, it's probably what, a good 1.5 inches, 2 inches in diameter. What you might want to do is either take it down to where the lowest branches are coming out, or if there isn't many branches, you know, cut it down to about 2-3 feet in height, where it's just a stem. And then when the tree begins to heal itself or begins to regrow new shoots, you can graft onto those shoots. If you graft up really high, the problem is you're constantly going to have root stock regression underneath, you know, your graft. So you've got your graft on top, and then the root stock itself is going to try to throw its own shoots up, and you'll end up with the half wild, half grafted tree, which is each of them will be stealing energy from each other, which, unless you're doing that, you know, for the novelty of it, I would try to avoid it. Also, still trying to visit you. That's cool, man. Just let me know. We talked about it. You give me that text and you can come by. Having a toddler is making it difficult. You're right. But next year, it won't be, your child won't be a toddler. Your child will be someone who can explore and enjoy a day at the farm. Noelia Siddons, how do you keep yourself looking so hot? Well, let's see. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And since you're married to me, you're bound by the state of Florida to be with me. So humans are very adaptable. It could be that you've just convinced yourself that I'm hot. I'm looking at myself here with this gray beard and my reading glasses, and I don't think I'm particularly hot. That said, I do hit the gym 4 days a week and try to do my best. I probably should eat a little bit less and just take about 5 pounds off. But at age 51, I'm still the same waist size I was when I graduated high school, which is 32. I mean, I've been in a 32-30 jeans, except for a couple of, you know, fat periods in my life. I've been in a 32-30 since 1988. Let's see, Frosty. You can also grow peach. Oh man, you got to grow some peaches. They're delicious. Oh, Gidrius, how you doing? And then I'm sorry, the person who's talking about hemp, I have no idea how to pronounce your name, Macieij. But thank you. Hemp can help for this. I find a lot of people saying hemp could help for anything. I got two guys. The farmer right next to me here to the south is, I think he's one of the biggest producers of beans in the country, but his family also has the license to grow hemp. And then my boy over here on the west side property is actually from Colorado and is also in the hemp business. It's becoming very popular down here in South Florida. Neutrino, I know you. Just got to take care of yourself and you'll be good. You're right. And it was funny. I was having a chat with someone on, back to my wife's question about how to keep yourself hot. You know, I was having a chat with someone just last night in YouTube comments and about like trying to stay in shape, you know, and I just mentioned like I need to take 5 pounds off, or I'd like to take 5 pounds off. It's easily done. I just have to eat a little bit less, you know, instead of eating all of these, maybe I just eat 5, you know. And that's how it's been my whole life. You know, there's been times I wanted to, reduce my weight. I've done 2 Ironman triathlons. You want to be as light as possible going into those things. I used to race bicycles, like road bikes, right? And you want to be as light as you can in that sport. And I would normally roll around 147. Now I'm about 170. But back then I would roll about 147. But when it came bike racing season, I'd get down to 137. Solely by restricting calories. And I'd be a hell of a lot faster and stronger at 137 than 147 with no special tricks or nothing. I would just eat a little less, you know. The reason I could be 170 now and be in this, back then I was actually lower than a size 32 pant. When you're, racing bike, your pant, if you're doing it right, your jeans should be falling off you all the time, and mine were. Anywhere between 150 and 170, I've been able to maintain that 32 waist size because it's more like managing like the muscle mass kind of a thing, not so much the weight, you know. Let's see here. Where are we? Morris Family Studio. Thank God it didn't happen to you. I forget what we were talking about, Morris Family. Sorry about that. I probably should keep up with these comments more. Hey, Roy, how you doing? Oh, RJ, what are you? Tommy, RJ is on my live stream. Did you stick my sticker anywhere that I gave you last night? And you took some of those mangoes, right, buddy? You heard me shouting to you to take some mangoes from the box. I hope you got some, and I hope you liked them. The mangoes in that box, some of them are going to surprise you. They taste like a mango, but they're also a little sour. And now would be a good time for me to take a bite of one of my more sour. So RJ, where is he here? Roy Franklin here. RJ plays football with my son. Very responsible kid, goes to high school. Always helps me out at the field. I do a lot of I'm the equipment manager at my son's football. So I do a lot of work there, a lot of fixing stuff. And RJ is always the first one to step up, help me carry stuff. It's good to see you here, buddy. Oh, that's so good, man. It's got like a dry, almost like a powdery taste to it. A little tart, this particular variety. And I don't know if it'll show up on my crappy webcam, but you can see the difference. This one has a lot of a lighter flesh, where this one's much more orange. Now, in person, it's a drastic difference. You really can see it, but oh, these are so good. I let my mango towel get away from me. All right, I'm like a big baby. Yeah, so RJ, let me know if you got any of them little, where are they? These little guys. These little guys here are the ones that taste like you're biting into a lemon. Oh, I'm sorry, Morris. You were talking to Frosty. I got it. Okay. Gidrius, do you know any success stories with growing avocado trees in pots in northern regions, and if they come to fruition? I do not, and I've been looking. Now, I've been in arboretums and botanical gardens that have big greenhouses, and I've seen people grow all kinds of things that don't belong in those climates. They simulate the climate inside the greenhouse, orchids and things like that. I think in Washington, D.C., if you go to the botanical garden there by the U.S. Capitol, they've got a beautiful orchid collection. At least they did the time I was there. And orchids really should not be growing in February in Washington, D.C., right? I've seen all kinds of fruiting, citrus and things like that, fruit in greenhouses and also in people's living rooms and in their kitchens and on their windowsills. I have not found anyone yet able to fruit an avocado or a mango in an indoor setting. I don't know if anyone's ever mimicked the conditions to make that happen. They'd probably have to hand pollinate, like a lot of people who grow citrus indoors. But I am not aware. So if anyone watches this and happen to know where there's avocados or mangoes, for that matter, being grown indoors, let me know, because I'd love to talk to that person, because I get the question a lot. Now, that said, there's a family out in Oklahoma who's doing a significant greenhouse, geothermal, a big operation where they're going to pump water up and use the heat from the water to heat the greenhouse, but then also that water will go into fish tanks and they'll be doing aquaculture. And then the wastewater from the fish tanks will be backed into the crops they're growing in the greenhouse to fertilize the greenhouse. Really amazing operation they're doing. And then there's another guy up in Alaska doing something similar, like putting together a serious greenhouse to see if he can actually grow some food that grows typically down around the equator. And we're in contact. We email and text each other. So I know people are trying it, but I don't know of anyone that's been successful yet. Let's see here. Wow, there's a lot of comments here. Holy crap. Sorry about that, guys. Let me just scroll through these real quick. Okay, so Gidris, that's the story about people growing them up north. I'm not sure, but I know people do grow stuff up north that typically only grows down here. Nutrient life over working in a building with artificial lights. I was dying in there. Yeah, I mean, there's a being outdoors and I like the nature of this type of business. It's a lot of like handshakes and right then and there. I will buy that from you right now at this price, and you give them the money and they give you the stuff, and away you go. There's a lot, you get to make your own decisions, but it's really, really nice just to be outside. I mean, you finish a day of work, you take your boots off and you sit down to do whatever it is at night, watch YouTube or watch TV or have a little dinner. I mean, it just feels good, right? Okay, yes. I didn't know your name was Roy, RJ. Thank you, Mashumbo. I appreciate that compliment. Always the best fruit educator. I think there's much better out there. There's some guys right down the street that have PhDs who I hang on their every word. David Lattiff, hey, Tom, I have room for one more mango tree. I'm torn between Kit or Hayden. How could you pick the two varieties that are a coin flip for me? Kit. Hayden. Kit. Man, they're probably my two favorite. A year ago, 2-3 years ago, I'd always say Hayden was my favorite. And recently I've been enjoying the kits more. Hayden is a little easier to grow. As you see, the kits kind of get dirty. They get stained, as do the leaves and the branches and the flowers, right? So it requires a little more effort. But man, you get bigger fruit, although Hayden get pretty big. I like the kit better, but I think the Hayden's easier to grow. I'm going to say kit, but I'm going to give you the information that I think the Hayden is just as good, not just maybe almost as good, like right there, but maybe you'll get a little better yield off of it. Although kits, when they fruit, they go nuts. Let's see here. Neutrino, I wonder if mangosteen can be grown in Florida. I just became aware of that fruit. A buddy of mine was telling me about it. Neutrino, keep talking. It's good to hear what you're saying. My whole career was a salesman. And people think salesmen are supposed to be talking, but if you're talking, you're losing the deal. A good salesman's a listener. But of course, this is not a good venue for listening. So it's always like, you're talking too much. But then again, who else is going to talk? Maybe I'll see if I can get my son in here. Tommy! Come here. Yeah, Frosty, you're definitely in too cold of a zone. Like we talked about, you'd have to have something in pots on wheels you could bring in and out. And even then, you'd probably never get fruit because it'd be just too hard. Yeah, that's what we were saying. Yep, you got your stuff that you bring in and out. Frank, you have a nice sized potted avocado tree you grew from seed last year. Fantastic. Have you pruned it yet? A lot of people don't know you really should prune a seed grown avocado. What'll happen is it'll wind up growing like a giant palm tree. You'll get this big long, stem and then a few leaves at the top. Tommy, I'm doing a live stream. Bubba, you want to jump in?
Sure.
RJ's on.
Yeah, he just called me.
And so what I tell people to do when they plant, this is my son, Tommy, teenager. It's what time do you sleep till? About 2 or 3 today?
Yeah.
Come on, get in the picture. But I let Tommy sleep. I don't care. I don't care how much screen time he has. I don't look at his report card, right?
Yeah.
He's going to be just fine. All your kids are going to be just fine. All this monitoring we do with these kids. I slept till 4 o'clock in the summer vacation. I turned out fine. People be yelling at me, why are you sleeping till 4 o'clock? I'm like, well, me and all my friends were up late last night. I don't want to go to bed at 10. I want to go to bed at 4. You know, if he's 13, he wants to go to bed at 4 and sleep till 4 in the afternoon. That's fine. It's going to make for a couple tough days when you go back to school, right?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Anyway, say hello to RJ.
Yeah, he had called me.
So I was talking to somebody about pruning your potted tree. So it could be as simple as when your tree sprouts up, that little horn of a little star of new leaf growth in the very top middle, you just break it off. And what that does is it'll cause your tree to start putting out branches, and it'll tell the root to start thickening, and you'll wind up with a fuller, more bushy tree, which is what you want to encourage, rather than this long spindly thing that's just going to flop over on you someday. Can you feel the heat coming off that light?
Yeah.
It's bad, ain't it? Okay, the true king wants to know, how do you grow mangoes? I mean, that's what our channel is, right? We got a bunch of videos on growing mangoes, but if you want to know how we grow mangoes, you start by eating mangoes, right, Tom?
Yeah.
Because what do you get when you eat a mango?
Seed.
Mm-hmm. So I showed you how I cut the mango. And then I showed you, this is always my part, right, Tommy? The part around the seed.
Mm-hmm.
I then take the part around the seed and eat it. Then, when I get down to the seed, I save the seeds. And I'll throw the peels. And every now and then, if an avocado just goes bad too fast, I'll throw that in there in a plastic shopping bag. Tommy, would you go grab one of the plastic shopping bags where I keep my seeds? So first you eat your avocado, or first you eat your mango, and then you put your seed in a bag and you store it. I'm going to show you what the seeds look like. Then you get yourself some topsoil and just plant the seed, just lay it in the soil. Now, I like to do a lot of them because I'm not going to fuss with germinating them and playing with them and all that stuff. I'd rather just plant 200-300 of them. And if 100, 250 grow out of 300, I'm happy with it. You know, I'm not going to sit there and fuss and worry about every little one. But Tommy's coming here with one of my bags. So as we prep these mangoes and eat them, I take the seed and I put it in my bag here, but I make it almost like a little mulch. It's kind of hard to see, but I'll throw like all these left. Oh, sorry, Tommy, I didn't mean to block you from a mango. Take it, buddy. There you go. You like those, the sour ones?
Yeah.
But I'll throw like all this mulch that's left over in there, and I'll just let the bag sit. Here's an example. This avocado just went bad in the bottom of a batch I had. So I just this mango went bad. So I just threw it in here. And this will just kind of keep nice and humid and kind of yucky like a mulch pit. And the seeds will start germinating a little bit. And then I'll just take them out and put them in pots and plant them. Every day I end the day with 2 bags like this full of seeds. And then if it's a special mango like the Nam Duck Mai I showed you earlier, I keep those seeds apart because I actually want to do a video showing how the polyembryonic gives you multiple shoots and how the other ones, I guess monoembryonic, give you only one. Same with avocados, right? Eat an avocado, plant the seed. Oh, and then we go out and then we graft onto that mango. And we do the same with avocados. We eat our avocados, we save the seeds, we plant the seedlings, we determine which varieties we want to grow. We go out into the grove, we take cuttings from those varieties, graft them onto our seedlings, and in a few years we put them in the ground. Did I miss anything, Tom?
Scroll all the way down.
Scroll all the way down?
Yeah, see.
What do you want to see?
All that stuff.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to miss anybody.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's cool though. Let's see. Wow, there's so much. I keep saying I'm going to blast through it, and then I don't. I have a nice sized potted avocado. Okay, how do you grow mangoes? So there you have it. What's up, RJ? True King, how do you grow mangoes and avocados? Got it. Okay. This is RJ. I hope you read the book called Jot 'em. I'll have to look it up, Spreading Ideas. I'll read it. Send me a private message somehow. Send me an email or something and remind me of that. Avocados with a high oil content are delicious. You're absolutely right. And even like with these here, my favorite recipe is to cut them in spears, go over them with a little olive oil and salt, and they're delicious. If I make guacamole out of them, I will also add oil. These varieties that I grow here don't have as high an oil content as the Haas do, which are absolutely delicious. And Tommy, you care to tell them your thoughts on the flavor of an avocado?
They taste horrible.
The fruit of my loins, owner of Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm, future owner of Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm, and he hates avocados. He's grossed out by them. However, what will you eat?
Mangoes.
No, with avocados as a recipe.
Oh, guacamole.
So if I take one of these and mash it up and add garlic, and he loves the way I do the onions. How do I do the onions?
You mince it up real small.
Almost so you can't see them, right?
Yeah.
To like a paste. It makes, and then a little bit of salt, and maybe a little oil if I feel like it. Such a good guacamole, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so good. So he won't eat an avocado, but he will scarf that guacamole when your back is turned. How you doing, Rob? Oh, okay. We talked already, Robert, from South Texas. Well, spreading ideas. I'm not sure if it's sunburn or fungus, but I would lean toward fungus, not sunburn. And if it is sunburn, put up a little bit of like a shade netting, or just keep them under an already established tree if you can. Frosty, some fruit trees are not appropriate for containers like moringa, mulberry, and anything that grows really fast. Yeah, I mean, the roots would just blast right through it into the ground anyway. Frosty does grow vegetables. Frank, can you show an avocado plant and mango side by side and show newbies the difference? Tom, would you run and get one of those out to the shade house and get a turpentine mango, which are on the right shelf when you first walk in, and grab an avocado seedling and grab a successful grafted avocado for me? Thanks, buddy. Coming at you, but coming at you, John, I think it was who asked for that. No, Frank, coming at you, Frank. Hang with me, buddy. Chris, Jamie, Mac. Can you graft between two different plants in case I don't have a mature avocado on hand? It's got to be within species. So avocado with avocado, mango with mango, citrus with citrus. You couldn't graft like an apple onto a peach or an avocado onto a mango. It's got to be within species for the grafting. But you can graft any type of mango, any type of avocado onto any other variety of avocado, any variety of mango onto any other variety of mango. Now with mango, we've got some preferred rootstock that we use, which I sent Tommy out to get. With avocados, it's a crapshoot because of the nature of the way their seeds work, but we do have our favorites. Can we import a mango tree to Europe? I suppose so, but not from me. I'm not big enough to go through all of the hoops to clear customs and stuff like that in a non-US country. Sorry about that. Oh, Mateus, how you doing, Bubba? So Mateus is M-A-C-I-E-J. Now I know who you are. Now I know who you are. How you doing? Sarah, what about intermittent fasting? Anything over 14 hours break between dinner and next meal does help. I think anything that reduces your overall calories, you're going to lose weight. Anything that increases your overall calories, you're going to gain weight. So if by intermittent fasting, maybe you skip a couple meals you normally would have ate, and then when you finally do eat, you don't eat more calories. The number of calories is less than what you would have ate. It'll work. Now me, an intermittent fasting diet wouldn't work for me for most of my life, simply because I was always either training for an Ironman, training for a marathon, training for cycling racing. Now I hit the weights a lot, and I don't like, and then the job I do is very physical. So I prefer not to experience periods of too low of like glycogen in the system. So I try to sort of keep myself topped off. So I'm probably the opposite of intermittent fasting, where I'll grab like a 130 calorie chicken breast out of the fridge, slap it, on like one piece of bread, fold it over, 110 calorie slice of bread. I just ate a 250 calorie sandwich at 11 a.m. But then maybe at 2 p.m. I'll have a couple of mangoes, So that's them. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Good. We can show them. Yep. That's perfect, Tony. But yeah, I think I know people who intermittent fasting does work for. It works for them. For me, and plus I mentioned earlier, I also have a muscle condition, right? That I was born with, a form of muscular dystrophy. So anything that contributes to like muscle atrophy, I try to avoid. So even when I lose weight, I try to lose it slow. So I'm adding muscle. So I'm replacing any muscle that gets burnt away along with the fat, because I know you lose both. So Frank had asked, he wants to see the difference between a mango and an avocado. So here we have a mango seedling, and this is grown from a turpentine mango seed. Actually, that could be this. When I talk about this lemony tasting mango, that might be what kind this is. I'm not sure. At any rate, the turpentine is polyembryonic, which means it grows clones of the mother. So if you understand, grafting and why we graft, it would make sense to use a polyembryonic rootstock, because we've identified the turpentine mango as a mango that is good to use for rootstock. Well, if every seed is going to give you a random tree, you couldn't use them, right? Because some will give you good rootstock and some won't. But since the turpentine mango grows into a replica of the mother, and we know the mother's been good rootstock in the past, that's what we use for rootstock. So what I'll do when the season starts, when the budwood starts growing good, is go out and we'll decide, what do we want to plant next year? What do we want to plant this year? Do we want to plant more kits? Do we want to plant more Haydens, like the question I answered earlier? Do we want more Glens, right, Tony?
Yeah.
And we'll take our cuttings and then we'll come back and we'll graft onto this. But this is what a mango plant looks like, a mango seedling. You see it's got long leaves that come to a point. You see this lighter green, oftentimes yellow. Sometimes they'll even be a little bit brown. And there's a mango seedling. Here we have a grafted avocado tree. So we've got the seedling that was grown, from a seed, from an avocado that I ate. Or, well, I probably didn't eat that one. I probably just had a pile of avocados that I just let go for seeds. And then this top is a cutting from, okay, this is a choquette because it's not marked. This is a cutting from a choquette tree that we took in February. In fact, there's a video out on my channel where a guy named Jorge and his cousin Yolanda grafted this tree. So they took this cutting, they took, this here from here to here, from here to here, off of a choquette variety tree. They cut this little cleft here, this slit into the seedling, and they cut wedges here on this and put it in and wrapped it. And as you see, it fused, it healed. And now from here up, we've got a choquette tree growing. And here's the new growth that sprouted since this was grafted. Now, earlier I mentioned to someone who was growing a seedling, I said, when you see this top little horn of growth picking out, a real simple way to prune is to just pull it off. I just pruned this tree. And there's something about trees that when they're growing upward, when their vertical growth is inhibited, they start to grow horizontally. When their horizontal growth is inhibited, they start to grow vertically. So by pruning that, I'm telling this tree to start making branches and get a little wider. Oh, and these leaves, as you can see, are a little more round, right, Tom?
Mm-hmm.
And what color do these get to when they're new out there on the tree? You ever see them?
Yeah, like reddish kind.
Like almost like a penny, right?
Yeah.
Almost like a bronze or a copper with like a reddish tint. Yeah. So if you want to see more about those plants, just tell me and I'll bring them right back. But yeah, Sarah, but I think we all have to pick a methodology and stick with it. If intermittent fasting works for you, you do it. For me, a couple of small meals just to keep my tank topped off all day seems to do it for me. And everybody has their own way, and some people are very, very successful. What's up, James 420? Hello from Florida. I hope things are going good in Australia right now. Roy, yep, ate them. They were sour, and I put the sticker on the PlayStation. That's RJ. RJ, yeah, I told you it would be sour, right? It was really different, but how would you like to be right here, right now, chowing down on these with us? You guys are all going to see RJ too, because RJ watches my videos, and I thought he was just teasing me, but he actually does, right, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he knows all about grafting and everything. So he's going to come out and do a video with me one of these days. A very, very charismatic dude, and I can't wait for you all to meet him. John Picasso, you ever make mango chow? There's a ton of ways to make it, but the simplest one is cut mangoes with salt and a mild hot sauce. I haven't called it mango chow, but we've made like a mango salsa, a mango chutney, which would be sweeter. But yeah, I make a lot of times like a mango salsa with a combination of savory flavors, and man, are they good. But these days we can't, we just eating them as soon as we're cutting them, right? You want another mango, buddy?
No.
Okay.
I'm hungry.
What do you think I should tell them? Anything?
I don't know. Told them everything. Read this stuff faster. Because, like,
Am I the only one experiencing an audio problem? Maybe not. I don't know. You guys got to let me know, because I'm just using my laptop here. The audio is probably horrible.
Who is that?
B. Osmal?
I don't know who that is.
Hello, Tommy. Do you know me, B. Osmal? Are you somebody we know?
Oh, no. It's because you said, remember when I came?
Oh, he's saying hello to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. He's greeting you. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was so Daniel.
What variety are you currently shipping? Right now, we're doing Tommy's and Kent's. Here's a Kent. And last week, I did have a couple of Edwards and Nam Duck Mai that I sent people, but I'm a little leery to send the Nam Duck Mai because it's not everybody's cup of tea. But right now, we're doing Tommy's right now, which is a very popular South Florida variety. Not my favorite. It's a delicious mango. But it's not one of the, the more rare ones you're hearing about. It's more of like a tried and true standard Florida mango, which are delicious.
Read this stuff faster.
Okay. Hello, Tommy. Hi, Tommy. You want to read them for me, Tom? Read them for me, then I can take my glasses off. No? Okay. Frosty's going to try to keep his trees outdoors, and if it doesn't frost, and then in the spring get them outdoors too, so you can maybe get some pollination from the fruit bees, from the honeybees. Trop Ness, hello from Homestead. Oh, a neighbor. All right, we're going to have to meet her. Maybe we already know you. Morris family. Tommy jumps straight on the mangoes. He always does, man. He likes them cold. So if you like your mangoes cold, let me tell you, don't buy them and put them right in the fridge. Let them ripen at room temperature, then refrigerate them. If you put them in the fridge, they're going to ripen so slowly and they're not going to achieve peak sweetness, right, Tommy? So what we do is we wait until, like this one here is about a day away from cutting open. It's a little soft. See it?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So this is one we'd probably put in the fridge tomorrow, and then he can eat it the next day or the day after. But if you put it right in the fridge when they're still hard, when they're still like, they're never going to ripen right. Where am I? Whoa, I'm really behind.
Oh, you are.
You can't be skipping people, Tom.
I didn't even scroll.
You got to be equitable, dude.
Didn't even do anything.
I know. Hello, Sleepy Lizard. Long time no see. Jennifer, hey, Nightfire, how you doing? It's good to hear from you. You were on the last, the only other time I did a live stream. Wow, it's great to see you. Neutrinos Nocturnal. Yeah, well, you could get on the game with these guys. You'd be up all night long. Alfred Anaya Jr. Hey, bought a choquette avocado tree in 2020 and it looks amazing. I will send pictures later on. That's awesome. Yeah, send pics. You're going to love the choquette when it fruits. And if you bought it in 2020, you're close to fruiting. Yep, bacon avocado Frosty. When will Scions be available again? I might get back into the online tree business in 2023. I'm not sure yet because with our house fire, I ended up missing the whole damn 2021 growing season. So now I got to wait till the end of I'm just starting to accumulating avocado seeds and just starting to accumulate the mango seeds as I showed you. And so I have to plant a bunch of trees and then graft them and have them succeed and then let them grow to be strong enough to ship again. So I don't know if I'm going to make it by 2023. It might be 2024. There's no point in me selling the trees before they're ready to ship. And there's really no point in me getting all the licenses and paying for all the inspections and stuff until it's ready to be back up. So, I'm probably 2024 is when I'll get back into that business. Can you just sit back a little? You're just blocking the light just a little bit. There you go. Potted self-fertilized avocado tree gets lots of blooms last winter, but not a single fruit was set. Yeah, Gidris, how old is it? You might have said earlier, but remind me how old your tree is. And then Troy Tompkins, can I grow moringa in my bedroom with just a grow light? I don't know. I don't know about it. You got your phone with you?
No.
I don't know what moringa is. I might know it by another name. I'll try one more time because yeah, keep trying, Deidrius. Slick Rock. My choquette is 2 years in the ground, Central Florida. Can't wait for the reap. Yep, it's gonna be awesome. You're gonna love that choquette. You'll start picking it August, September. 2 years, probably next year. I gotta think did you get flowers this year at least off of it? Neutrino grafted an apricot onto an almond. Eventually I want to make an apple tree with me. Yeah, I don't know about like apricots and almonds and stuff like that, but I know for the most part, it's gotta be within species. Willie intermittent fast for 15 hours and is keto, which no pasta, no rice, no bread, no carbs. How do you think that would work for us here, Tommy?
Not very good.
No bueno, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, whatever works, we respect, right, Tom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it says here, Will eats a lot of avocado, spinach, onions, olives, Parmesan cheese, nuts. Yeah, I mean, awesome stuff. Neutrino gave some advice to David. Thanks for doing that. Hey, Miguel, how you doing, buddy? Good to hear from you.
There you go. You caught up.
What do you think of Kent mango? It's one of my favorites. I have a Kent tree. I love Kent mango. They, as a mango consumer, is this a Kent? Yeah. As a mango consumer, I love the Kent. They're delicious. And I know some people, it's their favorite. They buy them by the crate. They don't grow their own. And as a grower, I like the Kent too, because it's a very clean fruit. Unlike this kit that gets real dirty and scarred, the Kent actually stays clean. And so as a grower, it's also a nice fruit to grow and sell. Miguel, thank you for the sound check. I appreciate it. I'll go back and watch this when it's just a regular vid on YouTube. Troy Tompkins, shalom from Waldorf, Maryland, USA. Shalom to you too, which I believe means greetings. I hope I'm using the word the right way. The High Vintage. Hi. Hi to you guys back. And happy 4th to you, Miguel. Yep, you're right, Frank. Yeah, those copper, I love when those copper leaves start coming out. It just tells you your tree's healthy, it's growing, there's metabolism happening, it's taking nutrients out of the soil. Oh, I love it when that starts. And then Alex hinting us. Thanks for the olive oil and avocado. It is so good. I mean, when this is ready to go, I'll cut it in half. Save the seed to plant, cut it into spears, and pour the oil and salt. My wife and I will share it while we wait for him to finish dinner. This guy's been cooking a lot of steaks for us and stuff lately. Where do you get your recipes?
TikTok.
Right. And then we'll take the other half and put it upside down on a plate and set that in the fridge. And we'll do the same thing the next night. We'll just cut it into a few spears. This guy will be, what do you think you'll be cooking in the air fryer? What do you usually cook for us?
Fries or tater tots.
And what do you do on the grill?
Steak.
Yeah. And so we'll be waiting for our tots and our steak, chowing down on avocados, catching up on our day. Frozen grapes in the summer. I've heard of people that do that. We do not grow grapes here, but we do freeze our bananas. If we have a lot of mamey, we'll freeze mamey, and then we defrost it in the form of shakes.
Yep.
And that way you get a nice cold shake. You don't have to dilute it with ice. Your fruit is already giving it the coldness.
Oregon.
Yeah, Frosty, and I know you're going to stay close with me and keep your plants out. And yeah, you're going to be selling. You're going to have so much fruit, you're going to have to sell it. Oh, okay. Oh, moringa. Yes, I have a moringa. I don't know if she wants me saying her name, but I did have one of our viewers come visit, and she brought me moringa, and we planted it. I know exactly what you're talking about now. And, but like I say, one of our viewers from Texas happened to be in Miami Beach and came down and spent a day at the farm with us. And that was the gift she gave us, was a little moringa that she had started for us. So yes, I do have moringa. And like I say, I'm not going to say who it was. Just, people don't like that all the time. DJ C2G. Hi, Tom. This is Anthony from Oregon. We have enjoyed your delicious avocados up here in Oregon. I love when I get orders from Oregon or Oregon. I'm not sure how y'all say it up there. Alaska, Hawaii. Oh man. And I go on the little USPS website to, and you see the little arrow and it shows it going from South Florida and boom, when they got there. And I just love the idea that we're doing stuff way the heck over here on this part of the country and you guys are enjoying it all the way over there. I get a lot of VW parts from Oregon, by the way. Where am I, Tom?
Right there. Here, look.
Michael, good to see you live. What's that, Tom?
Yeah.
Good to see you live. It's a blessing seeing you and your family. Do you have the Jamaican East Indian mango? It's very nice mango. Just to let you know that I'm doing well with my grafting. Michael, I'm glad you're doing well with your grafting. And we here in South Florida, I don't have one yet. I'm going to put one in next time I have space. But we grow a variety called the Russell, which a lot of people from Jamaica tell me it's what they grow over in their home island, which they don't call them avocados. They call them pears. And it's like a long sort of squash-like looking with a very long neck, symmetrical. Looks almost like a gourd or something you'd buy around Halloween time. Does not look like an avocado at all. Huge. So I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about, but we do grow those in South Florida. I do sell those. I actually take care of some other properties too and sell their fruit. And one of them does grow that Russell variety, and we'll be selling those in about a month. He was asking about a mango, wasn't he, Tom?
Yeah.
Ignore everything I just said. I was talking about avocados. I don't know I don't have one called the Jamaican East Indian mango. However, we might know it by something else over here. The names are very colloquial. Yep, Frosty. I know it gets chilly where you are. I mean, you wouldn't be called Frosty if you lived in a warm climate, right? Have I tried to grow dragon fruit, Sarah? Well, yes, but it was a very weak try. I planted dragon fruit about 2 weeks before our house fire. And when the house burnt and we had to move into a hotel, the power company also shut our power off for 7 months. And the pump that works that part of my farm, the grove and the fruit and everything goes off a diesel pump, but everything else is off an electric pump. And when I lost my electric, I couldn't water that section of the farm. So my one dragon fruit that I had built a stand for and everything and put in died. But when I get back to rebuilding that section of the farm, which we just went in and planted about 8 or 9 pineapple the other day back there, right? Cleaned it all out. Yeah. And so we'll be getting back to our passion fruit and our dragon fruit, which is in that section of the farm now that we've got the pump up and running again. I do not have jackfruit, Robert, but I have a friend who grows it in his yard. He has one jackfruit tree and he sells it. Okay, you heading out, buddy?
Yeah.
All right. And he sells, can you give me another one of these?
Mm-hmm.
He sells it. He makes about $700 a year off of his one jackfruit tree in his yard. Very interesting. If anyone's never seen a jackfruit, you ought to Google it and take a look. It's gigantic and it just like hangs there off the bark. They're amazing. I was supposed to be eating mango as I was chatting with you. Let me just have a little. Thank you, buddy. You set it down. Tommy, ask RJ how I'm doing. Yep, bake. You're right. Frosty bacon, avocados, cold hardy. Messy ice. Thank you for your compliment. I really appreciate that. Unfortunately, I can't ship to Germany. I can ship like a t-shirt, but I can't ship any like food or living things, any type of material or agricultural material or anything like that. It won't get through the border. Monet S, you still opening up for avocado plants soon? Yeah, I mean, I could sell stuff in person, and I do have some, inventory. We have been planting as little as we could as we recover from there, but most of my business has to be done in person. I can only sell fruit online, but right now I can't do any type of shipping. Tommy, come here. I need you real quick, Bubba. So in person and buy a tree, they can come, or I send people to nurseries that are around me based on what people are looking for at any given time. I'm going to move the sun has moved and it's washing me out here. So I'm going to move my table. I just summoned my son to come help me, but I don't think he heard me. Tomboy. Tomas. Let's see. Let me just move over here. Maybe we just do this. Let me go shut that light off. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. That little glare was coming in. I think this is a lot clearer. A little bit of glare off my glasses, but just sitting here on the couch now. So I was supposed to go to the gym. Then I had a YouTube viewer call, ask me a question. And the best way to answer his question was to put him on FaceTime and take him out in my grove and show him how it works on my trees. And then from there, it got to be about 2:00. And I said, why don't I come on here and just do a live stream and talk to some of y'all? A lot of you people that are participating in the chat today, by the way, have been very helpful to me during a tough time in my life. I mean, it was tough to have that house fire and to move into a hotel, and my family got sick with COVID at the same time. My wife got very sick with it, and to have very supportive people like y'all, sending me messages and not even knowing I had a fire or anything like that, just being polite, nice people. It seems people in this tropical fruit world, people who like to garden, people like to grow their own food, just tend to be really nice, positive people, and it's good to be around. And I've met thousands of people. It's amazing. I mean, my phone will ring and be a complete stranger, and we'll have a 30-minute conversation about their avocado tree and why they wanted to grow a tree. It's really great. Let's see here. In New Orleans, where this is Morris family. New Orleans, where you grew up, you called avocado alligator pears. Yeah, I've heard them called alligator pears. Yeah, and also Persia americana, the American pear, something like that is the species name, Persia americana. Alex telling me you've taught me so much about farming and life. The red dye. Oh, you were there for the red dye in the glass. Yeah. About having capacity, right? And how to manage focus. I try to, for those of you that have only seen like my avocado vids, I don't know. I try to nuggets every now and then. I try to talk about things that I know about, and I think one thing that was very helpful in my corporate career, my sales career, was managing focus. And I did a little video on how we need room in our brains to focus on the things we want to focus on, the things that get us to our goals. And that if we fill our brains up with things that aren't that, we have less of our brain left to focus on what we want to. And I just used red dye in water as an example of how, thoughts can invade. And depending on what we focus on, we're either moving toward or away from our goals. I forgot about that video. Thank you for bringing that up, Alex. And yeah, Frost, you could put a blanket, put the lights, everything. Monet S, do you know what's the original avocado? I mean, I know before there were, I think the Haas, which is the one we commonly eat today, that's 95% of the market. That's the little black one you find in the supermarket, was grown from it was a seedling, obviously, but they had grafted Fuerte onto it, I think, and the Fuerte didn't take. So Fuerte, I think, was the commercial product prior to Haas. So we at least had Fuerte. Historically, I really don't know. I know it comes from Mesoamerica, from Central and South America, and that people discovered you could eat it, and people discovered how to graft the trees. And it probably, as far as now, I've never dug and looked, but to my knowledge, I'm not stating this as fact. I'm just saying the oldest variety I'm aware of that precedes the Hass variety would be the Fuerte. And the only reason I know that was around before the Hass, like I said, is because Rudolf Hass attempted to graft a Fuerte onto the tree that later became a Hass. What came before the Fuerte? I don't know. I can probably Google it. That's right, Willie. And I did tell the story of how, like I just told it again, right, of Hass planting that tree. Dan the man, there he is. The mangoes were delicious. Thank you, sir. Oh, I'm so glad you liked them. This year's mango crop was fantastic. It was kind of small around here because we had a frost, but the varieties I've been picking and sending have been delicious, and that's what we're doing today, is eating them. I hope my wife can finish it with her client so she can do some talking while I eat. Who would love to grow jackfruit? Let me see. Neutrino would love to grow jackfruit. Our area is too dry. Yeah, people love it. I'm not a huge fan, to be honest with you, but I know people love it. Frank is a believer in probiotics and an abundance of good bacteria. My wife also seeks balance in that respect in her diet. Margarita Russa. Hi, Tom. Might be a crazy idea, but I was wondering if mango/avocado scions would survive shipping from you to Eastern Europe. I'm trying to experiment with mango and avocado growing indoors. I think it would take too long, Margarita. I think I mean, I don't even know if this is legal, but I think the quickest way to get them would be to fly to Florida and take some cuttings and stick them in a bag and fly home with them, But like I say, I don't know the customs laws of the country in Eastern Europe you live in, if that would even work. But I think to ship them would be, it'd be a lot. They'd probably die on the way. Do some seated presses well online. I will right now with you. If you can go to Willie, I'm not doing squat today, man. I moved so much avocado this week and had a bunch of other things to do. We were doing the equipment handout at my kids' football, and I do all the like setting up and moving the tables and setting up the tents, and I'm just like sore today, man. Like I say, I was heading to the gym, but when that guy called me, I used it as an excuse to back out. You're right, Neutrino. Gardeners and farmers are great people. Frosty's going to do some hand pollinating. My wife, Noelia Siddons. Okay, let's see now. What's she going to do now? Do you have any funny stories that happen in your farm? I'm guessing you have something in particular that you want me to talk about, Noe. So which one is it? It probably involves me being naked and someone seeing my butt. But which story? Which story are you going for there, darling? Slick Rock, you hooked me up during the hard time. Went out of your way for me. Thank you so much. You have a great family and a great channel full of knowledge. Slick Rock, I'm glad I was able to do that. Truth be told, I'm not tying your YouTube name to who you really are, and I'm not asking you to say who you are publicly. But I'm sure I'll know you when I see your actual name in one way or another. I was able to help you out. Thank you. And thank you for the feedback and letting me know that, because a lot of people don't do that. Messy Ice, too bad you can't send them to Germany. I'd be happy to get some seeds. I'd love to. One of my first, when my YouTube page first started getting popular, I was so thrilled. A Norwegian college student from Oslo interviewed me as one of her college projects, interviewed me about a seedling avocado that she had been growing indoors on her windowsill. And I got to see pictures of it. And we did a little video interview, and she put together and wrote a little paper on the process of growing an avocado tree. It was a process, some psychological, something or other process class that she was taking. And, since then met a lot of people like over in Europe that live in colder climates. And I would love, and at one point I even made a video. I was going to try to do a series, but I learned that doesn't really work well on YouTube, of like starting not a movement, but like starting this kind of club or something where we just get thousands of people out from around the world and everybody plants their avocado seedling on the same day, and then we just keep it going. And those who graft them 3-4 years down the road, when they start getting their fruit and talking about it and following the stories, and then following the ones who chose to go from seedling and they might not get their fruit till 10-12 years down the road, and make a nice project out of it. And but I don't know, I don't have I'm not good enough to put that together. My granny, thanks for being here, and you have a great weekend. Frosty, as long as the fruit trees blossom and bear fruit, you'll produce fruit. That's exactly right. Oh, Alex, the Fibonacci number was a real eye-opener too. I'm so glad you shared your knowledge with the sequence. It's something that always fascinated me, and it's definitely one of those mathematical things that crosses into like pop culture. And I know mathematicians cringe when they see like regular Joes like me talk about, finding the Fibonacci sequence in nature, and can kind of show how that's not necessarily the case when people think it is. But I think in other cases it is, but in any case, I still think it's a fascinating series, and there's I hit my limit with math in, getting a computer science degree. You have I forget what they call it. It wasn't a minor, but the equivalent of a minor in math, and along with the computer science major. And I definitely maxed out like Calc 1, Calc 2, statistics, and then probability was it for me. Like I could never get into like differential equations or anything like that. I just don't have the brain power for it. But mathematics, like as an interest, there's a great YouTube channel called Number File. I love to watch their videos. There's another guy, Mathologer, out there, or Mathlogger, I don't know, Mathology. He's awesome too. But there's like this kind of pop explanation of these complicated mathematics theories and theorems and proofs, etc. And I'm fascinated with it. I read books on it sometimes. There's a great book about Erdős, the mathematician Erdős. I think he published more papers than any mathematician in history, and stayed a productive mathematician like well into old age, where a lot of guys burn out in their 30s. But there's a book called The Man Who Only Loved Numbers, and it's about Erdős, and it's an amazing book for like a lay person to read about the mathematical world. Do I use only organic fertilizers to grow your plants? No, I don't use anything organic, Monet. I use all the regular stuff. And I looked into like organic farming and stuff like that, and I tread lightly on that topic because it's sort of on the order of talking religion and politics. Some people get spun up about it, but as far as I can see, it's a lot of chemicals too, and there's definitely times a year here where there's outbreaks of certain things, and the state just comes in and sprays everything, the organic farms and the regular farms. But then like the organic, like certifying people, they make an exception, well, it's cool because like we say so, to use this chemical this one time for this one pest. So as a guy who's been in sales and marketing my whole life, I can't help but see a very strong messaging and marketing around organic, and not as much like science. But I know I'm going to get, well, we're an hour and 48 minutes into this. No one's going to sit and watch this thing this long anyway. But if I ever said that like in a 6-minute video, I'd get slaughtered in the comments, and it would be funny. Willie, should I plant the 7 avocado seeds I have? Is the best way with toothpicks in the water. Problem with avocados for me is the leaves are too big to bonsai, and I've never lived where I can plant them outside. Yeah, I don't think it's the type of tree that lends itself well to like dwarfing. How about if you got 7, why don't you go try 4 in soil and 3 in water, and I don't know, compare and contrast, see what you come up with. Maybe try both methodologies. yeah, Willie, you waste so many avocados. Do you plant any of yours? Yeah, I plant mine. If I ever do plant them in water with toothpicks, it's only because I want to show the root system or I want to do something for a video. But what I'll do over the next couple of months is every couple weeks I'll take a day and I'll fill up maybe 100 1-gallon. Like this pot behind me is a 3-gallon. Or is no, I can't. That's a 1-gallon. I'll fill up a bunch of 1-gallon pots and just stick avocado seeds in them. Let's say I put 100, and within a month or two, I'll have 85, 90 seedlings, and I'll just repeat that. And then when we go into grafting season in the fall, I'll have a couple of hundred seedlings that I can, several hundred seedlings that I can then graft. And so, yes, I do. And a lot of even the ones I eat, I always just throw in a pile. I really don't have to, though. I mean, later in the season, just the avocados that fall, I get hundreds, and I could just scoop them into a wheelbarrow, spray them down with a hose. I'll have a couple of hundred seeds in the bottom of the wheelbarrow, or 100 seeds, And but yeah, I plant a lot of them. Now the mango, I pretty much eat right now. The amount of mango I grow this year, the amount of mango I grew because we had a frost, is a little more than I can eat here on this property. And so I've been saving every seed because because of the frost on this property, we had a bad yield this year. Margarita grew a mango seedling indoors when it was minus 15 outside. And it's the best looking plant she owns. I would be doing everything indoors if it was minus 15 outside. I've never felt that coldness. I've had below 0 in Scranton, Pennsylvania, where I grew up. One day it was minus 4 for 2 days. Even the river froze over in our neighborhood, and we walked to school like on top of the river and back, which was real cool. But wow, that's cold. Willie, there's a problem where Willie lives. He lives next to a corn, soy, wheat field, and it's Monsanto. And then the neighbors spray their lawns. Yeah, Willie, that's another thing too. Like if I did want to go organic here, I would never be able to be certified because I'm surrounded by commercial farms that aren't organic. And part of the regulation is you got to be X number of yards away anyhow. So even the trees that I don't spray and I don't fertilize, when people ask me, are you organic? I say, I have a couple of trees of certain fruit that I don't do anything with. However, stuff could be drifting in from my grove. It could be drifting from neighbors' groves. And so I would never tell someone I have organic when they ask, even if I haven't done a thing to it, simply because it could touch, it's been touched by the neighboring properties. That's a problem. Yeah. Okay. Oh, my wife says, tell them the Simone story. Okay. So, it's really dark here. It's out in the boonies. And one day I thought it would be funny to just like run down the driveway in front of, it's a long dirt road, in front of my wife wearing only a straw hat and a pair of boots. And so I saw her headlights coming down the long road. So I ran out and hid behind a tree. And when she came around the bend in our road, in our dirt road, I mean, it's our dirt, like there's no other, it's on our property. There's no other houses or anything like that. I jumped out of the tree and I just start running, wearing only boots and a straw hat. And I hear this laughter screaming out of the car. And I'm like, that ain't my wife. And I kind of just ran back in the house and got real change real quick. Because my plan was to then get change real quick and beat her into the house and then just chill on the couch like nothing happened. And in walks my brother and his girlfriend. And so it wasn't my wife. It was a guy that a gal that my brother was dating at the time, our friend Simone. And, she got to see me run down the driveway in just a pair of boots and a straw hat. It's funny for everybody except for me. My face got a little red. Willie, you're talking about having fish tanks and getting into fish, and I'd love to do that. And the thing that stopped us is I always traveled for my job, and then once I got out of that, we would still travel a lot as a family, because in the summertime, you'd basically, when you have a grove, you let Mother Nature do her thing. The rain and the sun are doing everything for you. There's not a lot of like hands-on work to do in the summertime. So we used to travel. But then when my son got into football, we stopped traveling. And I've been thinking about, like, I never wanted to like go away with like fish tanks or anything that could go wrong if I wasn't here, like if the power went out. But now that we're here all the time, it's something I definitely would want to do. Alex totally understands my view on organic growing. Do I ever let aspiring farmers come and work on the farm for a season or two? I'd love to assist you, Alex. I'll tell you what I've done, Alex, is there's people I sort of mentor. Part of what I've been trying to do, I've been slowly, if you noticed you seem to be watching some of my YouTube videos that stray from the traditional avocado and tropical fruit topics. I've been trying to morph in some more like career advice and career management stuff, particularly to address. I find people in this gardening world are sort of open to alternative ways to make money, and so I've been kind of morphing the channel in that direction. And one of the things that came from that is like I've attained clients actually that I've been doing some like sort of like career coaching with, and some of them are starting their own farms. Now, no one's come here to really like learn the biz, and it would be tough on a farm of my size because we tend to have like a flurry of activity and then periods of nothing, and then flurries of activity and then periods of nothing. But I would definitely, so it'd be much easier to like mentor a youngster who's local and bring them in throughout the season as we're doing things. If someone was to kind of come here and stay, you'd almost have to like go through a whole year to experience the full cycle to really learn it. Yeah, Willie, I was showing off. At least I ran away from them. If I ran toward them, I'd really have been showing off. DJ C2G, you're moving from Oregon to Florida near Tampa in a couple of weeks. Wow. From one corner of the country to the other. I noticed the soil is sandy everywhere. Do you grow your produce in sandy soil, or do you have a different soil type? Where I live in Homestead, Florida, in the Redlands, we farm just about everybody here. There's some people that have some loam and other clay or something like that. We farm in solid rock here, limestone rock. You dig about a half-inch in my backyard, out in my grove, wherever, you're just hitting limestone. I mean, we could chop 3 foot by 2 foot blocks out of the ground and build a wall with them. We're a solid limestone aquifer. And the guys who grow row crops, your beans and squash and strawberries, they use something called, I think it's called a rock plow, if I ain't mistaken. And when they plow up their farm, they're literally grinding stone into little rocks. If you stop along the side of the road here in Homestead, you'll see, rows of corn. And if you take a close look, they grow in pebbles. They're not growing in like a flaky dirt that would blow through your fingers. It's rocks. We farm in rock here. And so my soil is different than what y'all have up in Tampa. And then depending on where you are and depending on the elevation, you might have to prepare your soil. You might have to dig a hole and add some stuff or make it a little higher, depending on, during the wet season, does it flood and stuff like that. So there's definitely some considerations before you just go and plant. And any local nursery will not only be able to answer your questions, but will have the ways and means to address what you need to do to prep your particular property. Nails Z by Marisol. Oh, I went to your page. I went to your YouTube page. I forget why. You made a comment on one of my videos, and I got me curious. You do some really cool stuff. Not that I'd ever benefit from that, but I was looking at some of your videos. But anyways, Nails, I was selling scions, a 5-pack for $20 shipped, when I was selling them. But like I say, right now I can't ship anything right now. I'm out of that business. I don't have the certifications and stuff because I just didn't have any inventory this year. I might get back into it in 2014. Yeah, Willie, that's a good idea. Looking for a cheap tank, it's something to something to do. And like I say, since we're here all the time now, it's definitely something I'd be able to manage. Frank, you feed your plants the scraps from what you eat. Just chop your food up. Yeah, we do the same. We keep like all our organic stuff and just put it out. I'm trying to block this light behind my head. I'm like Stevie Wonder, like trying to block that bright light that was behind my head. Anyway, yeah, we do too. We keep like our organic stuff, anything perishable, any type of garbage like that, and I just throw it out into the grove every couple of days or into the garden. Willie Bond. Well, the whole thing about farming for me is playing Noah. I love breeding various species. Got any veiled chameleons? Probably not. Only in the south of Florida. I see a lot of lizards out there. In spite of the name of my farm, I can't identify them. I think I might. There's one or two. Like I know what an iguana looks like. Gosh, that's about it. Otherwise, I just call everything a lizard. Neutrino. Where are you, Neutrino? Heck. Oh, hello. You're back. Or maybe someone says hello to you. I don't know. Yeah, there's a section near my son's elementary school when he was in elementary school, Neutrino, that had very loamy soil. And I agree with you, Willie. Congratulations to GJ. That's a big move, and I like it here in Florida. It's a nice place to live. You'll probably like it here. What's up, Terrific Journey with Mike? Hello to you. Oh, I see. Neutrino was saying hello to Journey with Mike. I got it. I need my son here. I'm too old for some of this, understanding some of this, like the way text conversations go. Everyone should listen to the audiobook, The Martian, the audiobook, not the movie. If they truly wish to aspire to true botanists, trust me, it's very funny. That's the one where he creates the little ecosystem and survives on Mars. I had to read that myself. Yeah, I mean, rocks are minerals. You're right, Frank. And they're also like extremely fertile here. I mean, it's really amazing soil, this rock that we grow in. If you think of it, it's Florida's filter, right? All the water that trickles down from Lake Okeechobee trickles right under where I'm sitting right now, and is going through all that limestone, and the limestone is filtering it and extracting nutrients from the water. And then that nutrients gets transferred into our plants, into our avocados, and then I stick it in a box and send it to you, and those nutrients go into you, Yeah, it was like a halo, but it was distracting. Willie, the light. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Journey with Mike. Yeah, Georgia has a lot of red clay. I was a mountain biker for a long time until I have an old neck injury that just got to be a little too much for me. And man, I loved riding in Georgia, except for when it rains, that clay gets real slippery. But loved it up there. I used to go up to Woodstock, Georgia. I can't remember the name of the trail system up there, but in Woodstock, Georgia, I loved it. Oh, it's such a great park. Nailsy, you're a plant killer. I believe you told me that. I think you told me that in a comment. Nailsy. No, it's Nails by Marisol. I got it now. You do nails. Yeah, obviously. That's what your YouTube page was. So I'm calling you Nailsy. It's Nails by Marisol. Nails, yes, you did mention that you are a plant killer. I think I remember you saying that in one of the comments. Any tips for you? I want to try and plant stuff, but I just end up killing anything. Yeah. Find something that grows in your USDA hardiness zone. So Google the hardiness zone for your zip code. Google USDA hardiness zone and then put your zip code in. And it'll tell you the hardiness zone. And then Google what grows in, like, let's say your hardiness zone 6B, whatever. What grows in hardiness zone 6B? And try to just plant that stuff, right? And then the best advice I could give you is, especially if it's a tree, is don't fuss with it. When I was selling trees, I'd get, someone would say, oh, my tree died. And they would send me this whole thing. Like, I got it from you and I put it in topsoil, like you said, but after a week, it wasn't growing. So my grandfather told me to put it in coffee and cut up some banana peels. And shine a light on it all night, and that didn't work. So I moved it to another pot, and then I put, it's a 30-year project, growing, growing a tree. Think of it as a 30, even 40 or 50-year project. And there's nothing we really need to do from day to day, and I think a lot of times people try to fuss over stuff, and they be spraying it and watering it and not watering it and trying this food and trying that food and convincing themselves there's some variable that they know works, and they're wrong, and or we can just let Mother Nature do her thing, which is grow whatever grows in your zone. When I took over here, the previous owner's place was a really smart guy. He was a retired cardiologist, smart guy, and had the patience to really plant some unique stuff. He had some bonsai trees, all kinds of stuff. A lot of it he took with him, but a lot of it he left. And I just said to myself, he gave me a whole book of how to keep care of a bunch of his stuff. I said to my wife, I said, I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to just kind of do the minimal care for the stuff that's really natural to the ecosystem, to the climate here in South Florida. And whatever's not, it's just going to die, and I'll get rid of it. I'm not going to spend my time trying to make a cactus that grows really well in like Tempe, Arizona, grow here. I'm not into it. I know people are into it, and I respect that, and that's awesome. Now, I went to Tempe, Arizona, and swam 2.5 miles and rode a bike 112 and then ran a full marathon all in one day. I know a lot of people aren't into that, right? So I get it. Like, we all have our things we're into, and others of us say, I would never do that. I just didn't want to get bogged down in spending a lot of time trying to grow things, because, for me, it's more about like producing fruit and having, customers and earning an income, and now having this YouTube channel. And so that's, I think if you pick something, Nails, that is sort of conducive to your USDA hardiness zone, and just follow the little bits of instructions, I think you'll do just fine. Think of it this way, Nails, and I tell this to people all the time. That tree or that plant doesn't know whether you are a first-time grower who kills everything, or whether you are a PhD botanist. When you're pouring water, when you're giving it a little fertilizer or whatever it is that the instructions call for, the tree doesn't know that you're not a PhD botanist. So if a PhD botanist can do it, you can do it too. Just do what they tell you to do. Okay, Nails, you're out in California. A lot of people from California watch this channel, and you're all awesome. I mean, like, the passion for growing people have in California is just amazing. The guy I was on the phone with just before I did this live stream called me from California, and we got on FaceTime, and he took me around his whole yard and showed me everything he was growing. The passion out there is amazing. Okay, Slick Rock adds azomite for minerals. Yeah, I mean, every local region has its own soils, Willie, I prefer to read a book rather than listen to it. I find my mind drifting. Alex, how's the water been keeping up in Okeechobee? I heard there was not a lot. Yeah, Lake Okeechobee ain't what it used to be. I've been there fishing. It looks like a construction site. You feel like you're in a giant swimming pool. They just put a big levee around it, and it's just like rock. There's not a lot of like trees or anything real interesting to look at. And the fishing isn't as good as, say, it was maybe 20 years ago, that sort of thing. The water levels have gotten a lot higher. And then they've gone in and done, which I think, you have to do, but they've done herbicide treatments for non-native plant species. Unfortunately, those non-native species were also habitat for fish and for bass. So for now, I think Lake Okeechobee ain't what it used to be. Hopefully, maybe someday it'll make a comeback. Plus, for me, like, I'd have to drive by 25 awesome fishing spots just to fish Lake Okeechobee. So I generally don't go out there anyhow. The Domestead. Dang, 62K subs. What have you been doing, yo? I'll tell you what. I made the videos. I started this channel because I wanted to be a bass fishing guide. And I just wanted to have some fishing vids so people that were coming out with me could look at what they were going to get for their money. And I did that for about a year. And I decided I didn't want to combine my passion with my way to earn money. I didn't want to turn a hobby into work. And so I stopped doing bass guiding and I started just talking about the farm on the YouTube channel. And I had one video do okay, and then I had another one really take off, and then I started getting subscribers and got monetized, and I started thinking about it and taking my time a little more. Now, granted, I don't have very high production quality, and it's obvious the way I do my editing that I don't really rehearse anything before I talk. I have things I think about, you know, as I'm mowing the grass and stuff like that, but I don't do a rehearsal or, you know, anything like that. And then I had another couple other videos get popular and got some more viewers. And then at my peak popularity, that was also when we had the house fire and got stuck in the hotel. And I had the time and I had the energy, but I did not have the mental oomph to make videos. And it was killing me because when I was getting like the most views per day of ever, you know, I'm getting 100,000 views a day. That's when you really should be making more content. And I couldn't. I just couldn't. I did not. There's an element of creativity involved. I was empty. You know, my house had just burnt down. The wall that is my son's bedroom wall is where the fire started. And it just took a lot out of me, you know. And then after, gosh, about 4 or 5 months, I made a few videos, but after about 4 or 5 months, it kind of recaptured my personality. And by then I had accumulated, you know, 40,000 subs or whatever, and then 50. And then recently there was a video game that came out that has a character called the Grafted Scion. And somehow the YouTube algorithm confused when people were looking for that about the video game. It was Elden Rod or Eden Rod or something, Elden Ring, or I don't know what the hell it was called. Elden Ring. Does that sound right? Elden Ring, the video game. Anyways, they started watching my videos and they're like, I came here for a video about Elden Ring, but wow, this is, and they were freaking awesome people and such cool comments. And then my subscribers, you know, crested the 60K mark. And so yeah, it's going good. I want to hit 100. Like I would love to get that little YouTube plaque they give people, you know, when you hit 100,000 subscribers. I mean, well, I don't know. It's just a little plaque, but I think it would be kind of cool, you know, kind of a cool accomplishment. So I'm growing at about 2,000 to 3,000 subscribers a month. So that still has me a year or two away from hitting 100, but I'm hoping maybe I'll have another popular video that'll get me over that 100K soon. That's what I'm going for. Yeah, California does have a lot of climates, you know, a lot of growing seasons and a lot of climates. Let's see here. Connecticut coast. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that about the Connecticut coast. I do know that there's a repository. I think the FBI has it. There's a repository, I think, of every type of soil in the world. And they can tell where it came from to like an amazing degree of granularity, like within a 5-mile radius or something. They can tell you where soil, unless that was, I don't know. You know what? Sometimes I think I read something. I might have seen that in some bullshit detective movie. And now here I am giving misinformation. I hope YouTube doesn't ban me. Frosty, your Atulfo will bear fruit this time of year. All mangoes on the northern hemisphere. Well, enough that I could say all. There's a few rare ones, but the Atulfo is going to fruit right now, like mid-June through August. Yep, you'll be good. And you're right, Neutrino. A tree is like a lifetime friend. It's actually generational. If you're in your 40s and are planting a tree, it's likely your grandchildren are going to be picking fruit from it. I mean, it's you know, assuming you stay in the same house and that sort of thing. It's really an amazing thing. Naked HD XYZ saying some inappropriate stuff here. I if you're like on this, I don't really care about like blocking or banning or reporting. So I don't really care that person's saying that. I mean, I'm sorry if it offends you guys, but I'm very like sort of free speech oriented. I really don't care if someone comes on here and does that. I'm not into like the whole tattletaling thing. So don't worry about it. You don't have to report this person. Journey with Mike. I don't know what you're talking about, but you might be talking to someone else here. That's right, Neutrino. Don't tell the tree you're a rookie. Hi, Cindy Lou. How you doing down there in Texas? Yeah, Frank. I mean, if you have vegetables that grow well, yeah, save the seeds and plant them. My uncle plants a lot of vegetables, and when he harvests his lettuce, he has a way of getting the seeds out of it. They're like powder, and then he just walks back out into his garden when he harvests a head of lettuce, and then he gets more lettuce. Yeah, and Alex, I agree. I think the next. I don't know, Keterific. I've read that they think the next world record bass is going to come out of somewhere in Japan. I mean, I don't think Okeechobee is going to give us a 22, 23-pound bass. It might. And yeah, Alex, it is a bummer about Lake Okeechobee. I think it's kind of gone down here. Most of the bass waterways we fish are really water management projects, and this one has really gone more the way of a municipal water management project rather than like what I would consider like a ecological / recreational focus. And I understand why. I mean, they have to manage the water and they have to manage the sugar industry, and I know that that's also a kind of a political topic, but I can see all of the sides I have been shown in the matter all sort of have a legit purpose and function in society, and it's difficult to strike a balance. Yeah, Frosty, I can't wait till you get your first fruit. There's Naked HDXYZ again. I mix it up, dude. Say something else funny. Yeah, journey with Mike. I didn't lose the house. I lost the use of it for 7 months. I think the worst part for me was I was the one that like tried to put the fire out. So I had a few fire extinguishers, and it was an electrical fire, so I kept pushing it down, and then as soon as the extinguisher wore out, it would just flare back up again. But I was able to at least keep it small until the firemen got here, and it's amazing how hot an electrical fire is. And so for me, it wasn't like a devastating loss of the home because it was limited to one section and they rebuilt it, but it was, living in a hotel for 7 months and the memory of fighting the fire and the what ifs, like if it happened at 4 a.m. instead of 9 a.m. when I was awake and able to react, every now and then we burn something in the kitchen and it sets off the fire alarm here. And boy, let me tell you, hearing a fire alarm now affects me a lot different than it did then. Picasso John, Elden Ring. And I did get lucky. Yeah, I got about 1 million views on one particular video. It took me from 2.5 million to 3.5 million views, and I probably gained about 7,000 subscribers just because of those Elden Ring people who, again, I said they were really, really cool, like, in their comments. And I got to know some people, and I think some people got interested in gardening because of it, which is cool. Yeah, I like when the porn bots come in, or right now, Neutrino, people will go onto your page and they'll post like onto your channel on a video. They'll say like, I made $7,000 using the XYZ methodology. And then immediately someone's like, wow, I use the XYZ methodology too. And then someone else, yeah, me too. And it's like, it's a very non-subtle, sort of thing. So I have that going on right now. So I literally asked them, I'm like, if you guys are real human beings, I'm genuinely curious. Like, you are really just one person, but I'm just genuinely curious. Like, it's very obvious. Like, why don't you do this in a more subtle way? But they haven't responded to me yet. Gamers and growers, Neutrino, you're right. Yeah, Cindy Lou, lots of clay and soil in North Texas. Much like California, probably my biggest viewership and also customer base would be California. Number 2 is Texas. I love the Californians. I love the Texas growers, and I was just so sad a year ago when all the people in Houston and the area had the frost, and so many of them, their trees died. I felt so bad for them. And in fact, a lot of them were trees people had bought from me only months prior, and they didn't survive the frost. It was terrible. Yeah, Slick Rock. I would plant Swiss cheese plant in Central Florida, 9B. I think technically it's like a 10A, 10B plant, but I'd give it a try. What the heck, you know? And if you wind up with them fruit that I show sometimes in my videos, they're absolutely delicious. So yeah, Slick Rock is asking about would you plant Swiss cheese plant? He means Monstera deliciosa. And yeah, I absolutely would. The Domestead is a 12-pounder. Wow, I've never broken 8. I've got a lot of 7s. Here in the canals where we fish, I think breaking 8 is kind of rare. If I wanted to break 8, I'd have to head up to Central Florida, Okeechobee, or more north. And but I'm like a small waterways fisherman. You know, I like fishing the small ponds around here. I like fishing the small canals. I believe there are fish bigger than 8, even 9 pounds around me. I just haven't gotten one yet. 12 pounds, I don't know what I'd even do with a fish that big. Frosty, I think your pineapple mango is absolutely going to produce fruit. And Alex, thank you for coming, and I'm glad I got to have a chat with you. You have a good day too. Cindy Lou, have I ever think about including a recipe card in a box of avocado or mangoes? I absolutely have. I absolutely have thought of putting a little insert that had some guac recipes on it. And this year, the fruit sales business has really gotten to the point where it's more than just a little side thing. The volume people are buying. I'm going to have to hire an employee. Well, I did hire an employee to do my picking, but I'm going to have to hire someone actually to help with the packing and shipping now. It's outgrown what my son and I can actually keep up with. And like even this week, I had about 25 orders on Wednesday that I was trying to get everything wrapped up by Wednesday, and I didn't get them to the post office in time. I've never had that problem before. And the reason I wanted to stop Wednesday this week is because we have the 4th of July long weekend holiday, and I don't want to be sending fruit on Thursday and Friday knowing it's going to be sitting on Sunday and Monday when there's no postal delivery, you know. So it's so I'm thinking like I've been putting a little more thought into getting to a next step, you know, being a little more formal with this process, because it all started out really, I'd have viewers say, hey, I want to try some of your avocados, and I'd say, well, you know, PayPal me the shipping and I'll send it to you. Well, then it got to where I couldn't keep up with it, and I built the website, but the intent never really was to be a retail avocado salesperson. It was more to be a YouTuber and keep selling wholesale and just hook people up when they wanted a tree or something. And it's kind of taken off. And so I got to put some thinking into, like, now I'm big enough that I could afford maybe some more proper packaging and some little inserts and things like that, where it would make sense to buy things at a big scale, you know, have a printer run off several 5,000 inserts with that have a little couple recipes on them and stuff like that. So excellent idea, and definitely something I'm considering, Cindy Lou. Frosty, I don't know what you're saying about Google won't say it. Different producers, different years, so that's why it's important for it. Yeah, I agree with you, Frosty. You definitely have to stay. I mean, anything you grow is going to be a lot easier if you keep within your growing region. Super Mario, hi, I'm from Poland. Your carp record is 14.6 kilograms. So in my units, that's like 30 plus pounds. No, I don't have any medical plants or any sort of medicinal plants per se. I mean, I grow papaya and mango, and I know they are said to have anti-inflammatory properties. And I do have that one we talked about earlier. Gosh, I forget the name again. The one I said my viewer gave me. I grow different herbs and mint and stuff like that, but that's about it. I mainly grow just, you know, fruit for people to just enjoy the flavor. Nothing medicinal or anything like that. Super Mario. And you know what? It's been 2.5 hours, and that gets us to the last question. And as you can hear, I'm losing my voice. So I'm going to, I guess there's a button right here. It says end stream. And so I think I'll press that button in about a minute. If there was anyone that wanted to ask a question or say anything, please do so now. I'll give it another minute, and then I'm going to wrap it up and go finish the rest of my mango. And gosh, it's 5:17 already. Holy crap, where'd the day go? Well, I know where it went. It went right here with y'all, and I really enjoyed spending the day with you. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like we're done. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up here. We'll see you next time, everyone. Thank you. Oh, running kicks butt. Hold on. Some people have said it put a nail at the base of a mango tree if it needs iron. True. Running kicks butt. I never heard that before. And I owe you a Glen mango. I owe you a Glen mango tree. I just remembered. And a banana tree. I am so sorry. I will get that to you, running kicks butt. I've not heard that about the nail, but I've got chelated iron, and I would just mix it in water and poof, throw it in the dirt around my tree. So you could tell Steve to go do that. Domestead, thank you. You're welcome. Is it too late to order mangoes? No, Jay, we still have a couple weeks of mangoes left. And so you could order some mangoes. Slick Rock turmeric. My wife, 18 months down the road, is still having some breathing issues from her bout with COVID, and turmeric does help her. You too, Cindy Lou. Have a great weekend. Richard, you're welcome. I hope I'm able to keep producing interesting videos and keep having good ideas, and y'all keep giving me good ideas. And Super Mario, I'm glad you heard it. Same to you, Slick. Running kicks butt. You LaRue in the house. Love to you back. And I love following your progress up in Georgia too. I love what you guys are doing up there. And I wish the day you mentioned that we should do the same thing, I wish we took advantage of that, because man, you're loving it up there, and I would love it too. Thank you, Neutrino. Thank you, Cindy Lou. Would those trees grow in Texas? I can't remember what trees you're talking about, but the avocados will grow in Texas. Mangoes might struggle. Yeah, I don't know about the rusty nail running kicks, but I don't know if you want me saying your name online or not, so I'll just go by your YouTube handle. But yeah, I don't know. But like I say, I would just pour iron around the in a little radius around my tree. Thank you, Jay. Bye, Neutrino. I'm not sure, Richard, if you're asking about mangoes. And I'll tell you what, Tommy has shed his baby face. His voice is deepening. He's ready to he needs a shave. I'm going to have a little chit chat with him in a minute. I noticed with the light, I had a light shining on us earlier, and I noticed he's ready to shave. So I'm going to go have that conversation with him right now. And yes, Super Mario, I do have email, and please reach out to me. I don't want to say it or write it here in this chat, because then like bots get involved. But go to my YouTube page and go to my contact section, and it'll allow you to give me an email, and then we could contact that way. Just remind me it's Super Mario. And thank you, everyone. Okay, now I am going to go. So running, tell Steve and the girls I said, hey, everybody else, we'll see you soon, and see you on the next video. Thanks, everyone.